charter server is set to Southeast Asia. So to do that, click your username in the top right corner of your screen. Then from the multiplayer server drop-down list, choose Southeast Asia from the options. And then before you begin your flight, make sure your multiplayer mode is set to all players. Very important. If you have it either on live players or off group only, you won't see everyone else. So that's it. If you want to fly, you can also type !fly in the chat. That will give you a link to the flight plan and everything else, all the information you need to join us. Now let's talk about aircraft type. We are going on a safari, so I thought, a bush plane of some sort seemed appropriate for this flight. So I'm personally flying the Cub Crafters NX Cub. Let's go from our panel again from left to right. Peter, looks like a Cub of some kind for you as well.
Yeah, I'm actually flying the correct version of your.
新共和国パイロットですね。本日も、マイクロソフトフライトシミュレーターの公式集会に参加していきたいと思います。今日の飛行機はエチオピアですね。アフリカの東のまあまあ北の方ですかね。なんでも今日は国際象の日だということで、国際かな、なんか象さんですよ。お花が長い象さんの日ということで、マイクロソフトフライトシミュレーター、実は何種類か動物が再現されてるらしくて、象とか鳥とかいるらしいんですけど、私は一遍も見たことないんですけど、今日は象を見に行くらしいです。
Challenging. A little bit bushy, it drags a tail, and yeah, I mean, I think it's perfect for an African safari. You can bring more people can enjoy it, more to explore.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
その飛行機が湧き出てくる地点にはもうものすごい数の人が持ち上がってますが。
Definitely not surprised me. World's most versatile.
多分デフォルトのセッティングだと自分の飛行機にあんまり近い飛行機は見えないようになってるんで、持ち上がってる人たちは自分以外は見えてないと思いますけど、私は近寄ると相手が突き抜けちゃう設定になってるので、持ち上がってるところは避けております。風は若干左から吹いておりますかね。バックで流れているのはオフィシャルの、配信ですね。マイクロソフトフライトシミュレーター2020のコミュニティの、運営メンバーなんですかね。
With that said, let's get spawned in and let's get ready to take off.
Let's do it. Who's first?
I'm going to show you some. I'm going to show you some photos as we go along. I was not in Ethiopia, but I was on a safari a few years ago, and I took lots of photos. This was one I saw at the airport on the theme of anti-poaching. Only elephants should wear ivory, and that's a message I wholeheartedly support and agree with.
I have to say, while you're getting ready to take off, I have been watching elephant documentaries all day in preparation for this live stream.
Damn. Oh man. Nice. You got all the elephant facts for us.
No, not so. Just
no pressure on you.
No, just some
Good to know.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think it's National Geographic. The YouTube channel has been streaming live, like elephants, like legit all day. I'm not even kidding. So, and that as well as sharks, because it's still it's like Shark Week every week now. So, yeah.
It makes sense that National Geographic would be streaming elephants. So, again, it is World Elephant Day tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, I'm starting to see a lot of planes popping in, so let's get underway. Let me just program my autopilots. Now, Ethiopia is a highlands nation, as you may notice here on ground level. We are at, I'm showing on the runway here, 6,380 feet on the ground above sea level. So I'm going to put my cruise altitude to say 8,500 for now, and we'll see if we need to climb as the flight progresses.
I think based on that plan, we're going to need like 14,000.
We'll see. We'll play it by ear. I don't know if an X Cup can.
アレルギーが若干ひど気味です
I may
ね。
have done some poor planning here.
Yeah, I was
We'll
looking at
find
the flight plan, and there's a lot of terrain on this. So,
We'll
good
find
luck.
out. Now we'll talk
It's
too.
gonna be fine.
You know,
fine.
the highlands of Ethiopia and what that means for the people who live here. So we'll talk about that a little bit as we get underway. But for now, my parking brake is off. Full throttle is in. I am rolling, and we're underway for Community Fly-In Friday World Elephant Day edition.
Let's go.
ご来館。
And
時間けど
really
もし
pleased
ゃあ
to
な
be
い。
visiting the African
めた
continent
流れに乗
twice
ってき
this
ます
weekend
ね。
too. It's been a while since we've done a live stream in Africa.
DC3
It's been a while.
いいですね。
We do try to mix it up. You know, we always try to visit different countries, different regions, never the same place too many times in a row or too frequently. But it's been a while since we've been to Africa, so very pleased to be back here.
You
Alright,
know what the
positive
parking
rates.
brake quick key is?
Period on the
Period.
keyboard. All right, I'm Aaron. Look at all you beautiful people taking off behind me. You love to see it. Great turnout today for World Elephant Day Community Fly-In. Any of our panelists in sight? Don't see any nameplates of Peter, Tom, Blue, or Hermanos.
I'm already taken off for quite some time. You should.
Oh,
see
you
me
are
when
you're
you-
already underway. Oh, there's
Oh,
some Tom
me
to my 11 o'clock low there. You got some.
This is gonna be
It's
hard.
ready for takeoff. I took off. Then he started this whole talking thing, and then he took off.
Oh, and there's Hermanos behind me. So I got two of our panelists in sight.
I see blue.
This altitude is getting to me a little bit. Not gonna lie, guys.
Yeah. I mean, taking off at 6,000 feet apparently comes with some performance.
What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
I'm not getting all the
who
push
knew, right?
that I'm expecting.
Tower Extra 145.
Right,
Continue
leaning might be
for
a thing.
north departure.
Yeah, I might need to lean.
That
a
might
little
be
bit.
cheating on that. Oh, that's true.
Yeah, definitely got to lean my mixture a little bit at this altitude. So, let's talk about one of the all-time great sports rivalries. I know you probably have a lot of sports fans in the chat. You know, you might talk about Real Madrid versus Barcelona, great rivalry there. You know, or Yankees versus Red Sox, Maple Leafs versus Canadians, some of these great rivalries. Let's talk about another one, though. Ethiopia versus Kenya in the sport of marathon running.
Oh, yeah.
One of the all-time greatest sports rivalries. The two best countries in the world for marathon runners. And there's a very specific reason for that. And they're both highland nations. They're warm weather countries. And the people here, they train at a high altitude. They get acclimatized to running where the oxygen is thin.
ゴンダルという街
And
です。
then when they're running a marathon at sea level, for example, they get their blood. I don't know the physiology of it, but their blood is not necessarily acclimatized to having all that excess oxygenation, and so they are able to outperform athletes who train at lower altitudes. And so Kenya versus
just passed the
Ethiopia
castle.
in marathon running is one of the all-time world's greatest sports rivalries.
街並みはデフォルトの
And already I'm
街並み
seeing
みたいですな
8,500 is not going to be sufficient. I'm going to climb to 10,500.
I almost said the castle.
こういう四角い建物が多いんでしょうか。
Well, speaking of that waypoint, there it is. Actually, let me just switch to my screen for a second. There's the fortress right there. Very cool.
That's pretty sweet.
And I was looking this up on Wikipedia. The architecture here, it says it has influences
Tower
of
Extra 145 frequency
multicultures,
change.
Arabic, African, and European Baroque architecture styles, all combined in the construction of this fortress.
地味な街並みですな。
10,000 feet in the next cup. Ooh. Wish I'd chosen the Cody now.
I tell you, this DC3 is struggling to climb right now. And I can hear the stall buffeting like the whole climb out.
Man.
it though.
Yeah.
Blue Lumpy in chat says turn on the blowers.
Blowers. You're gonna have to school me on that, my friend. Where is the blowers? Is the B? Is it the yellow B? Is it this thing? Oh baby. Oh yeah, it's that thing. That did something. I don't know if there's
Correct.
昨日は、
You can still join us at the departure airport.
ニュージーランド縦断を成し遂げましたが、
And then catch up.
Yeah, we just took off like 5 minutes ago, so should be pretty fast to catch up to the pack at this point.
本日
Yep,
は
the yellow
あれで
levers. Thank you so much for the help,
あ
guys.
の
This is literally
エチオ
my
ピア、
first
アフ
time
リカ、
flying DC-3 since it
ゾウ
came
さん
out.
ちょっと見るの楽しみですね。
That's a very simple plane to operate.
Right? Something we regularly do here on
Yeah.
the streets. First time
Yeah.
flying in the plane.
If you're wondering about the heading and waypoint, you can type !fly. That'll give you the link to the flight plan and an image of the map where we're flying today. So all the stuff is there right now. For me personally, I'm
アフリ
currently
カ
on
っ
a
て言って
heading
も
of
広いですからな。
143 degrees.
Are you sure? I'm at 137.
You're already halfway.
No. I have to. I'm flying like 95 knots, so. They could prop back a bit.
Do you guys go up to, you said 10,000? How high are you gonna fly?
Well, we turned. We were heading directly towards mountains that I had to climb over, but then our waypoint shifted. We flew over that fortress, the Fazal Gebi, and then we turned on a kind of southeasterly heading. And now I think 10,500 might be too high. We could probably descend a little bit.
All right.
Oh, here's Elkin David with some Fazal Gebi facts in the chat. Says it's a fortress located in Gondar, Amhara region, Ethiopia. Hope I pronounced all of that correctly. It was founded in the 17th century by Emperor Fasilides. I don't know how to pronounce that either. And was home of Ethiopian emperors. Its unique architecture shows diverse influences, including Hindu, Arab, and Baroque characteristics. Because of its historical importance and architecture, the fortress was inscribed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1979. Gebi is the Emiric word for a compound or enclosure. Well, there you go. There's some facts about the waypoint we just saw.
なんかよく意味が分かりませんでしたけどね。
That's one thing I like to do
アメ
whenever
リカと
traveling
か
around the world in Microsoft Flight Sim is
欧
actually
米
look
の
up like
航
some of
空法
the
と日本の
local
航
history
空法
and
がずれ
facts
て
and
き
stuff
て
like
て
that.
う
It really
ん
kind of helps connect you with like the area you're
セス
flying
ナ
in.
172
Yeah,
4
and
席
again,
の
we,
やつ
we
か
do
な
try to bring some of that,
なんか
cultural, geography,
日
history,
本では
even pop culture.
飛べなくなるか
We
もって
try to
い
bring
うな
that
んか
to
意
our
味がよ
streams.
くわからない。
We do try to be fun. We try to be entertaining every Friday on Flying Friday, but we also try to be educational.
記事をなんか読み
We
ました、
teach about
読んだけどよ
aviation,
くわかんなかった。
airplanes, flying, how to be a pilot, but we also teach about our planet and the people who live here. And we do try to bring some of that into every flight. And as Lumpy says in chat, and food. Absolutely. I mean, food is a big part of culture. It's inseparable. Every culture in the world has their own cuisine, and communal dining is a big social occasion for pretty much every group of people on the entire planet. Wherever you
Yeah.
live, dining with others, sharing food together, that's a big part of humanity.
And food brings us together. Every culture has their own like traditions and things that bring them together, usually involving food.
なんかすごいスピードが出ない感じがするけど、なんでだろう。
Yeah, I may be able to throttle down a little bit now. My ground speed is 136. I'm getting great performance at this altitude. I will throttle
Same.
down a little bit.
I'm
Bacon
loving
top
it, like-
poutine. Wow.
Bacon top
Okay.
poutine.
All right, here we go. Here's a
40ノッ
question.
トぐらいまでは
Two-part
普通に出て
question.
るような
Part
気が
one.
するんだけど。
Do we have any Quebecois people in the chat today?
フラップ
And
ない
if
ですね
so, part two. Is it sacrilege to put any ingredients in your poutine other than French fries, gravy, and cheese curds? And be
ヘリ
honest,
キャ
I,
ット
I
がヘ
went
リ
to
キャッ
pub
トに
trivia
見えてない
last
気が
night,
する。
and they had
残
various
念じゃ
different
い。
poutines on the menu, and I ordered one that had beef brisket.
うん、明らかに何か
The
おかしい
poutine,
な。
and it was good.
I have a question. Have you tried the
明らかに何かお
Norm
かしいと思
Summerton's
うけ
poutine
ど。
recipe?
I have not. What's that?
I don't know. I just saw it in
これ
chat.
か
Oh. Meanwhile, Papa is being a troll. Papa, that will get you like expelled from Quebec if you were ever, a tourist in Canada. Go to a Quebec restaurant and say that, you will literally get thrown out. Use mozzarella instead of cheese curds. I'm not even kidding. That is sacrilege. So anyways, follow-up question. I was talking about how I was at pub trivia last night. The quizmaster was reading the questions, and they said, okay, now we have an aviation question. And I was like, ooh, rubbing my hands together. I was like, oh, my time has come. And I got it wrong, and I am so embarrassed.
Oh.
Oh.
Now I'm going to ask our panel here
What
and
was the
ask
question?
chat.
Oh dear.
Now, I didn't feel quite so bad because literally every other team also got it wrong. All right, so here's the aviation question they asked at pub trivia last night. Don't cheat, don't look it up, don't Google it. Question. On the tail of a Qantas jet, what color is the kangaroo?
White.
Ah!
White, right?
It is white. All
Yes.
I knew that
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah.
I said red, and everyone else, every
No.
other team also said red. So the
It's not
tail
so
itself is painted red, and then the kangaroo is in
It's
the
white.
white negative
Yeah.
space. Yes, as Flying Flow says, red tail, white kangaroo.
Now, what does Qantas stand for?
Kangaroo.
エンジン回転数。
Queensland and Northern Territory Aerial Service, I think.
Oh
That's
wow.
what it is.
うん、
I've read that
そんな
once.
に悪くないような気がするんだけどな。
Now,
So
in the end, I didn't feel too bad because my team still won, but I did kind of feel awkward for missing the aviation
no,
question.
that's
I
good.
should get 100% of all those ones.
やっぱどこも
Yeah,
燃料
anytime
セ
you
レ
get
クター
stuck
を
by an aviation fact check, that's something serious. Like you're the guy.
Tarnish Moss, man, I appreciate your honesty. Tarnish says
センタ
I
ー
would
タ
have
ンク
said
にして
red.
ると調子が悪いような気がしますな。やっぱちょっとパワーが若干あんまり出てないよ。
PKM says Lego is making a Concorde set. Yes, I saw. Oh, it looks
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
Well.
42 inches long, which is longer than the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. What's an aluminum
saw it.
Falcon?
Sorry?
No,
Millennium?
that's a robot chicken joke. Someone in chat got that.
I feel like their design is too old.
これって僕だよね。
Like something they would bring out in the early 2000s. I mean,
The
sure,
design
it's
from
blocky,
Lego, you
but
mean?
they've been doing way better stuff recently, and then I saw that design was like,
What should it cost?
it's 200 euros
Oh, it's not too bad.
for a dust collector.
Yeah, yeah.
Over a little over 2,000 pieces, I think, is what I saw.
Correct.
Yeah.
Working landing gear.
2,000 pieces is not that much.
ちょっとよくわかんないけど。
So the
やっぱパワー
general
が減ってる気がする。
guideline I've seen is when people evaluate the expected value of a Lego set, around 10 cents per piece is kind of more or less where it goes.
But that's a controversial take because sometimes you can have large pieces or a lot of smaller pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
problem is
Licensing costs also sometimes get into it.
Yeah. So
It's-
again,
it's a
it doesn't work in
guideline,
all
yeah.
scenarios, but that's kind
Yeah.
of like
it's rule of thumb, basically.
Yeah.
Are any of you guys into Legos?
I absolutely
No.
am.
Yes.
Or
No,
model
right, Peter?
aircraft,
You're
anything
not
like that?
right.
No, I'm not.
So right now, decorating my home, I've got 2 Lego sets, and you can look these up online. And they're both very kind of artistic and interesting ones. I've got the Lego bonsai tree, and I've got the Lego bird of paradise.
Nice.
Mainly because I'm too lazy to water a real plant, so I can have plastic plants, and they look kind of cool. But I've some favorite recent sets that I have
エン
built
ジンの
in Lego is the Saturn V absolutely great one. International Space Station, the Apollo lunar lander.
They'll have to build that one.
And you know, as a kid, the retro 1980s Lego space line, absolutely love everything about that. That to me is where Lego was at its pinnacle, when they were doing original designs, not licensed stuff, their own original creations. It just that sort of sparked something in my imagination as a kid. The Lego 80s space stuff, like Benny from the Lego movie, but like the real sense that Benny was based on.
また赤くなってきたな。
And ordering some display cases now, because I got tired of them getting full of dust.
I have a set that might interest you.
Which one's that, Peter?
I hope it doesn't.
I have this one here, looking at me every day, because it's under my monitor.
Oh, Grogu.
Oh, that's cool.
And Peter has got what's
the
that called?
original 928.
Is that the original or the reissue?
No, this is the original.
あ、なんか
Wow.
マジいことしてる。
Yeah, so they for those of you who don't know, that's one of the most famous Lego space models ever released, and just a few years ago, for like the 40th anniversary or something of the Lego space line, they re-released that one, an updated version of it.
Yeah, so this is Lego set 928. You can look it up. This is the original Benny space.
If you want to earn some money, Peter.
Yeah, I believe I can sell it for like 500 euros or something. But,
Okay.
in the meanwhile, currently have a sea pit things here. But it's fine.
Yeah, I was almost gonna have
す
it.
げえことになってる。
It's fine.
So yeah, that's one of mine. And I actually bought that second hand from a colleague of mine, who was getting rid of all his Legos, and he just had a big
人海戦に
big case of all Legos and a bunch of booklets. And he said, do you wanna have it? And I said, sure. I'll take it. How much do you want it? Yeah, you can have it. I said, no, I want to pay for it. I said, yeah, 50 euros. He said, okay, fine, 50 euros. And after that, I went through the booklets and I saw that this was sitting in between. So I immediately
あれ
started
か、
building it.
混合機
Now I
の
have
関
it.
係か。
Oh, look at Jane Cusey trolling the chat here. Playmobil is better than Lego.
As a kid, I only had Playmobil, but it's just so different.
It is.
They each have their purpose.
ミクスチャーの設
Is
定
that
を
the
した
is that the
のかな
knockoff one? The Playmobil?
No,
it's
No,
it's,
that's Mega
大
Bloks.
丈夫だ。
yeah, Playmobil is basically where you can put together two things and then it's already done.
It's already there.
It's big, giant plastic molds.
Blocks, yeah.
Yo, see, that is an
混合機
epic
を
formation
使っ
you're in right
た
now.
I know. I've got a Dark Star and a Pelican and a de Havilland Caribou all behind me to my 6 o'clock.
Wow.
I'm not able to maintain 9,000 or above.
Oh, well, now who's flying the inferior
そういう問題ではない。
Cub? I'm very easily, quite happily cruising along at 10,500 at a ground speed of 135 knots. But I can get throttled down a little
ちょっ
bit.
となんか
How
調
the
子が悪いですが。
turntables.
How the tables
これで
turn.
ぼちぼち飛んでいきましょう。
I'm not gonna fly, literally.
Peshir, elephants are later on in the flight plan. We do hope to see some elephants on this safari flight today, though. Again,
Yeah,
This next
so-
You might
waypoint,
get scared.
is this next waypoint a flyover or is it a stop and go?
it's a touch and go. Yeah, it's an airport.
Alright.
22 nautical miles away from that waypoint, though.
I am 21.
Is it HADT?
I'll tell you in a second. I think that sounds right, though.
Hotel Alpha Delta Tango.
Lemmy says, I got my flying boat wet. Doesn't sound like a problem to me. That sounds like working as intended.
おお。大きいのが飛んでいきますね。
What says this music hits the spot? Yeah,
I have
this
to
is
unmute
again
now.
courtesy of Epidemic Sounds, our
Yeah.
royalty-free music provider on the stream here. And I picked, they have various different playlists sorted by different categories, and the one I picked today was African continental music. So hopefully it's appropriate for where we are.
Yeah. So CD, you'll be bringing a cover of Africa by Toto. Song
Sorry,
request?
what was that, Tom?
You're gonna give us a cover of Africa by Toto?
Popular request, please.
Okay, so here is my possible hot take. So maybe 2 or 3 years ago, Weezer very famously did a cover of Africa, and it got a lot of attention on the internet. And I listened to it, and I was like, why bother? This is like they're just doing an impression of the original Toto version. Like, to me, if you're gonna do a cover version of a song, and if you're like a well-known artist like Weezer, do your own spin on the song. Do your own original take on it. Don't just do an impression of the original band, which is what I think Weezer did. So like the best example of this is Jimi Hendrix doing a cover of Bob Dylan's All Along the Watchtower. Totally different style of song, same lyrics, but completely changed up the song. And Bob Dylan himself has said that the Jimi Hendrix version is better than his original version. So that to me, if you're gonna do a cover, do it like that. Don't just do an impression of the original band.
I agree. Make it your own.
Yep.
標高が高いので IAS まあ
Next airport has
指示待機
grass
速度が
runways.
遅めに出てるだけなのかもしれないです
Yes.
How's that working?
9000フィート
And 1,300
フィート
meters
ぐらいあ
in
ります
length.
からね
Heart doing Stairway to Heaven. Well, okay. That is a great rendition. And if you've ever seen it, it's at the Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, where Led Zeppelin themselves were the audience being honored, and they brought a bunch of famous bands in to play covers of Led Zeppelin songs. And yes, Heart did an absolutely fantastic rendition of Stairway to Heaven. But it was
昨日とのニュージーランドの大山
in
脈
the
がまた
vein of the
全
original
然違
version.
う
They
感じ
didn't
の地
really
形でござ
change
い
it
ま
up
すね
much.
本
But
当
you
に
know
不思議
the
だなこの
vocals, you know, and Nancy Wilson's guitar playing, just fantastic. Extremist is saying that our next waypoint, Hotel Alpha Delta Tango, is not what I would call super visible. So we'll be on the lookout.
Yeah, I'm
14 nautical miles out.
I'm looking for it now, and I don't know how easy it's gonna be to find.
All right, here's we're on a rabbit hole now talking about cover versions.
Uh-oh.
Maybe Inquest, if you're still here, maybe you can make this one a poll in the chat. This one I could see going either way. I don't even think there's a right or wrong answer to this one. All right, Ink, is Ink here?
ところどころテクスチャーが
All right, here's the question on cover versus original. Jolene by Dolly Parton versus Whitney Houston. Who did the better version? All right, not Jolene. I Will Always Love You. Jolene is her other really famous song that allegedly she wrote the same night. Dolly Parton wrote both of those songs the same night. So I Will Always Love You by Dolly Parton versus Whitney Houston.
Gotta go Whitney on that one.
Yep. I guess so.
うんなんかやっと久しぶり別の飛行機になんか近づいてきた
Uh,
おタクスターあるところ変態長ありだけどお手前の方なのかな
So let me just put a bit of trivia in your mind that may influence your decision. If you know the background of why Dolly Parton wrote that song, she was basically a nobody
何が何でも
in
ゾウさん
Nashville,
を見る
Tennessee,
運
trying
が
to
いい
make
と
a name
キ
for
リン
herself
も
in
見
the
れる
music
かも
industry. And I can't remember the gentleman's name now, but there was someone who had a television show in Nashville and was very famous doing this TV show out of Nashville, like a musical TV show. And he invited Dolly Parton to be a part-time guest performer on his show. Wrong stuff saying Porter Wagner. That very well could be the case. I don't know the name. That could be it. He invited Dolly Parton to be a guest co-host on her show, and that's how she became famous. And then for several years, she, was under contract, and she participated in his show. And then she became more popular than he was. And she basically got him to agree to release her from her contract so she could pursue a solo career and basically go off and do her own thing. And she wrote that song dedicated to him for basically giving her big break and allowing her to break into the music industry. But now she had sort of eclipsed him and she was leaving him behind. And she wrote that song and to dedicate to him.
Lou, did you find the strip? I see you like.
I'm circling it.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna follow you, but.
I'm 5 miles out.
広々としてますな。この下は
There's a lot of grass out here. I don't know if it's
ダメダメ
bee
領域
grass.
ですね。
We'll find. Or maybe that green.
Yeah, I think I've
Spot
got
there.
what might be a field in sight. Still off in the distance though. I'll go to my POV here for a sec. So see dead ahead, there's that open space. That looks like it might be a runway.
Let's see.
We'll see. Did you see the game Twitch announced today? I did not. What did Twitch
右の
announce
方に
today?
どえらいでっかい、あれがでっかい湖なのか。なるほど。
Oh, I just realized I was on mute.
何のあれ
Twitch released their own
湖
game.
なんでしょう。
Interesting. I'm just gonna assume it's this green strip.
Oh wait, I see it. Yeah, it is a. Yeah, it's a green.
Oh, you got an insight,
No
Blue?
windsock, but that looks like it's it.
ちょぼちょぼと
The problem is if I land, I
毎
don't know
回
if I'll be
見
able
か
to
け
take
る
off
パイ
again.
ロットの方たちがお見えにな
I
り
might
ます
get。that one as well.
Okay, here I go.
I should have brought the Kodiak.
So
Or at
nice,
least something with a super turboprop.
Yeah, that's gotta be it. Yeah, that's gotta be it.
前方にいっぱい航空塔が見えますね。
Oh, are you landing, Tom?
That was an attempt made.
An attempt was made.
Yeah.
It works.
It's worth it.
It's fine.
It's the safari experience.
Nicotine. Hello everyone, I'm late.
Oh,
Hello.
stalling.
You're late, I'm Peter.
That was a nice kiss and go. I think. Uh oh.
Yeah. And almost stalling here.
Tom.
It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
Just got the tree nicely to length.
Where's the fun?
All right. Anyone know what heading is runway heading?
Yes.
どこにゾウさんがいるのやら。
Follow the grass.
So helpful.
Follow my
みんな
skin.
あの高いとこ飛んでるってことはまだいないっていうことでしょうか。
Okay, I think I see what I believe is the runway.
1-7.
It's that sudden rectangular green patch.
You got
Seven
Ogotai
Dunk.
and Tarnish appear to be lining up to the
No, no,
runway over
go
there.
on, Joe,
Right
go.
there. I think that's the runway.
And those winds,
watch
those
out.
light winds.
For the trees on the other end, depending on where you land.
Yep. Might have some on my tires.
Yeah, I'm just gonna circle. If I go down there, I'm not getting back up.
Yeah, I'm turning final now. Yeah, that's got to be the runway. Uber just hit 68,000 flight hours
Wow.
in Microsoft Flight Simulator or in real life. Either
way,
of
that's pretty
those
impressive.
either of those sounds very suspicious.
す
Someone
げ
do
え
the
絶
math. How
頂
many
いや
24-hour days is 68,000 hours?
It's 2,833 days.
That's longer than
Sounds
Microsoft Flight
unlikely.
Simulator has been released.
Because that's 7.7 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in real
7
life,
years.
In real life, it's possible, right? I mean, I know 747 pilots who have flown their whole career and they have those kinds of amounts of hours. It's possible.
68,000? Really?
6,800. Of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
So if you have a full career of all flying,
ア
all
フリ
day,
カの空
Like
港
20
から
20,000 hours is a very, very senior experienced pilot. And this would be 3 times that, 3.5 times that.
Yeah, he confirmed in Microsoft Flight Team. But still,
Look at that beautiful landing.
that was,
That was all the
great
Jane
landing.
Stallhorn right there.
ここでタッチングか
Wow,
な
runway altitude is 8,500 here.
Yeah.
Jeez.
All right, and it rotates. Hopefully we get some good climb performance. Oh yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, you're in half a X Cup, so
yeah, basically.
All right,
skipped the
next
waypoint
waypoint is elephants. So hopefully we can find them, but they are 64 nautical miles away from the airport. So we got a bit of flying to get there.
all right.
So, what I've always understood,
どれに曲がっていくの
understood how it works, and I'm not sure whether I'm
Touching
correct
どこじゃ
in assuming that.
表情が見えない
From what I believe is that they spawn
ここら
in
辺か
at that point
Then they
and
start,
then start walking in a random direction.
Correct. I don't know if it's
デ
random,
タ
but they
ボ
do
ル
start walking. I think
Yeah,
they
but
have
I
a defined path that they walk around in.
I'm not sure because I tried to replicate the behavior because I've tried to organize a safari before and I wasn't able to because you just couldn't find those animals anymore because they would just wander off somewhere.
Yeah,
And
last
now
time I went on an elephant
こ
or
ういう
African
風に
safari,
なってんのか
they spawned in and we like followed them for miles and they never went
Yeah.
back to the original point.
No. So
なんかいろいろ斜め
when
って飛
you
んで
spawn in on top of them, then usually it's fine, right? Because then they're still in that very same area. But now that you've spawned in like 1.5 hour ago, 1 hour ago, they'll be gone somewhere.
So I have
And
I have fauna markings turned on, so hopefully that'll make it easier to spot them.
But I think that those only mark the spawn points. But I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm
not
not
where
sure.
they. Okay,
Not-
well we'll
not where
hope.
there's
shall
I mean,
see.
we'll hopefully be able to find them. We'll see.
We'll see. It's fine.
It's fine.
Hey, we're gonna spot them. We'll find them.
I will, however, show you again some real elephant photos. This again goes back to when I was on safari not in Ethiopia but in Tanzania a few years ago.
That's cool.
Let me just pull up some photos here. Oops. So how about that? You can see just how close we were able to get to an elephant.
Close.
Pretty close. That's not even as close as we got, though. I've got a video of one. Oh, this is kind of a cool shot. This is me taking a photo of Factual Gall, taking a photo of 3 elephants outside the window of our safari vehicle.
That's so cool.
It's all fun and games until they start marching towards you.
Right? Those videos.
Well, on that note, Tom,
Yeah, I've seen
let's take a look at this video as we're driving past this elephant. Look how close we got to it. We can watch this video.
My
if you want.
God.
Yeah.
That was a little bit frightening, I have to say. When it turned kind of towards us with its big tusks there.
Yeah. It's not like a friendly turn. It's like,
No.
you get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was not friendly.
I had something similar in Kruger
He was
National
he had his
Park,
guard up.
South Africa.
You went to South
And
Africa?
there were. I did.
Of course you did.
だいぶくたびれて大きいですね
And then how
We
about this
slept,
one? Got a herd of elephants, including some calves.
That's sweet.
Let's see, got some more photos.
we slept in some sort of, luxurious tents, but at night you could hear the lions roar, which was not frightening at all.
Nope.
Totally fine.
Do they sound like cats or like actual roars?
Oh yeah. because we were just in their, not in their territory, but close to it, and there were armed guards outside the tented area. I was like, okay.
You're like, how dare you sleep in my Airbnb without paying the safari tax?
Oh, and then here's the reverse of the first photo I showed you. This was Factual Gull taking a photo of me taking a photo of an elephant.
Is this you taking the other photo you showed us earlier?
Probably.
It might have been, actually.
It looks like it. That same dirt road.
Yeah, same elephant.
Did you guys have a tour guide driving?
We did,
there?
yeah. There's you have it's by law. You can't do this on your own. You have to have a tour guide. It's your driver and safari guide.
Sounds like a good idea to make that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would love to see an elephant in person, like in its actual habitat, not in a zoo.
Yeah, I mean, going on safari is something I recommend everyone. If you can afford it, if you have the opportunity, at least once in your life, it's definitely something you should do. It's
How
just to see so
dangerous
many
is
of these
it?
beautiful animals in their natural environment.
Like, how dangerous is it actually?
Well, I think it's very safe if you're not stupid. Like, our safari guide was telling us this story. Like, you're not allowed to leave the vehicle. And our safari guide was telling us a story. There was a tourist who disregarded that instruction. There was a herd of lions, and he wanted to get a closer shot. So he got out of the vehicle and approached them with his camera and was trying to get a nice close-up shot of these lions, and the absolute predictable happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
He got really close shots.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime.
I never felt like I was in any danger at all. Although I do have to tell you, at the safari camps, you're in tents, and at least at the safari camps that I stayed at, every camp had on staff a Maasai warrior whose job it was to protect the camp from wild animals. And someone who was very familiar with the area and very familiar with animal behavior, and was, carried a spear traditionally. And in your safari tent, they gave you a radio and they gave you an air horn. And they said, if you hear sounds at night, it's fine. That's expected. They said animals hunt at night, but they know what their food smells like. And humans do not smell like food to wild animals. So generally said, if you hear animal sounds at night, you're safe. However, if you hear them brushing up against the side of your tent, you can use the radio and call for help, and the Maasai warrior will come around and frighten the animal, scare it off. And if you're really afraid, use the air horn.
Then the battery is dead of the radio.
Yeah.
Why not use the air horn first?
Right?
More fun anyway.
We just do that.
Yeah.
Yep. Did they also tell you, CD, while you were in the vehicle, to not use flash in the cameras? They told us to not do that.
I can't remember if they specifically told us that or not. However, it was daytime for the most part, so we wouldn't have taken flash photography anyways. I'm going to show you one other really cool picture, not of an elephant, but a really cool safari photo. If I can find it. This is one of my all-time favorite shots that I've taken myself. This was at the safari camp after returning from the day's game drive and seeing a bunch of animals. You get back to camp, you go to the common area, you go to the lounge, order a gin and tonic, kick your feet up, start looking at your photos from the day, or start sending emails to your friends, whatever you were doing.
中国の奥地を飛んでいた時もこんなんが永遠に続いて萎えた気持ちを思い出しますな。
Now remember, these safari camps, they're not fenced off.
衛星写真とかがないところがあるんでしょうかね。
And so, one day at camp, this is me, this is a point of view shot. That's me holding a gin and tonic, picking up my feet, sitting in the safari lodge. And then what do I see walking past? Just out there. Just a wild giraffe. I don't know if that's coming through on the stream or not, but that's just right there. That's a wild giraffe just walking past.
Wow.
アフリカ、エチオピアを飛んでおります。
They also have tame giraffes
エ
there?
チオピア、ゾウの日なのでゾウを見ます。
Saying wild giraffe.
お花が長いのね。
Well, not like a giraffe that was like in a pen or something like that. That's, yeah.
CD, if you don't mind switching. This was what
高度
when we went,
1000フィー
what
トぐ
my
らいか。
dad captured. This is why how close we were.
Wow.
Whoa, that's a cool shot.
I would say
エ
that's
チオ
10 meters.
ピアっていうとマラソンでアベベっていう昔選手が、マラソンとか長距離が強い選手
We
が
got
多い
pretty
とこ
close
ろ
to
なのかな。
lions. Like, yeah, probably 10 meters. But again, we were inside the vehicle, and they were we were minding our business. They were minding their business. They kind of looked up and just stared at us for a little bit, and then realized we weren't a threat and we weren't food, and so then they didn't care, and they were lazy. They just went back to sleep.
Here comes another bus.
飛んでると住んでる人たちがどうやって暮らしてるのかとか、
Yeah, and,
そう
That
いうの
same
がちょっと
trip,
気になりますな。
I also did some aviating.
Ooh.
Let me show you.
また学んでおかなければいけません。学んでももうすぐ忘れちゃいますけどね。忘れちゃっても学ぶ。学びが必要です。
There we go. This was taken from maybe about 1,000 feet above ground level in a hot air balloon flying over the Serengeti. And from here, we saw massive herds of buffalo, zebra, wildebeest, and then we also saw 2 female lions that were hunting together, which was really cool. And then we also saw there was a big rock formation, and there were a herd of lions that were sleeping on top of the rock. Let me see if I can find that photo. Okay, here's the photo. I don't know if you'll be able to make out the lions or not, though. I may have to zoom in. So here's the rock, and so we're flying over it in a hot air balloon. And kind of right here, I don't know how well they're showing up, but you see right there, there's 2 lions kind of staring up at us.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, like right there, there's 2 lions.
リアル
resting
タイ
on
ム
the
で
rock
も
and
ライブウェザー
looking
で
up
も
at
あ
our
りま
balloon.
せん。お天気はプリセット、雲がちょっとあるですね。時間
Be a
は
nice experience because it's so quiet.
Is it?
Occasional.
なんだアフリカ全然夜だったような気がしますな。
All right, I'm currently 38 nautical miles away from the starting point of our elephant herd on today's flight, so
午
hopefully we'll
前
be
中
able to
に
find
設
them.
定したよう
We
な。
might
あ
need to do a little
隊
bit
長
of
発見。
exploring.
やっと追いついた。
Hermanos, we had a question from Night Rage. Says, how do you get that
昨
PC6 with
日のニュ
wing
ージー
tanks?
ランドの川はすごかったですな。
It's an option in the
ニュー
tab-
ジーラン
the
ド
Milvis
す
one,
げえ
but
い
it's
い
an
とこ
option in
で
the
すよ。
tablet. Configuration or
Long range tank.
yeah, external tanks installed or not. Have them installed or not. See the change there. I don't know if you were on my screen. I don't know if I showed that, but it's
Yep,
a tablet
we're on your
functionality.
point of view.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah. And there's also a weather radar thing that you
う
can
ー
put on there
ん、
too.
アフリカも広いの。
Milvis PC6 is awesome.
Yeah.
Really nice to fly.
I haven't tried it.
So, okay, question. I actually
Ah,
don't know the
the
answer to
Fox
this. Is it Milvis or Blackbird?
It's
やっ
Blackbird
ぱり
now.
きっとフォ
Yeah,
ックス
Blackbird.
見
I
る
know
よ
it's
うに
I
な
know
っ
it's
て
like
る
the
モ
same
デル
company
があ
and
る
they
な。
rebranded. I think like what Blackbird is their
Yay.
consumer line and Milvis is their more commercial line. Is that right?
However, when this got released, they were still Milvis. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
ああ。さっきヘ
All
ル
right,
キ
since
ャ
we
ッ
are
トヘルキ
cruising
ャ
for
ッ
a
ト
little
見
bit
えて
until we
な
see
かっ
the
たな。
elephants, maybe this is a good opportunity for Blue and
Fox.
Hermanos. Each of you
なん
can
か組
promote
フォ
yourself a
ック
little
スっ
bit
て
here.
飛
I'll put a
行
link
機
to
の
both
キ
of
ット
your
なんですね、どう
stuff in
も
the。chat. So Blue, starting with
なん
you.
か
You're a
ホームビル
YouTube
ドの飛
content
行機じゃ
creator.
な
You
いか
do a
な
lot of
と思っ
sim
てますけ
content
ど
on
ね。
YouTube. There's a link to your channel. So anyone in chat, go ahead, click that link, hit the like and subscribe button, ring the bell, do all the things that every YouTuber asks you to do. Blue is one of our favorite YouTube creators in the sim community. So Blue, why don't you tell our viewers what kind of content you put on your channel?
Yeah, I mean, I do typical flight sim, same thing everybody else is doing. I fly airliners, general aviation aircraft. I do reviews. I do a lot of hardware product reviews as well, like stuff for Thrustmaster. As well as currently I'm doing what's
一
called
人
a
乗りなのか
Formula
な
One World Tour.
二人乗りか一人乗りなのかちょっとよくわかんない微妙なとこですけど、なんとなく飛行機の太さからしても一人乗りっぽいか。
doing different races in different countries, and I was really fascinated by the
これ意
logistics
外
of
と
that. I was like, what would it take to
翼
have
の
these
上
major
が開いて
events
て
all around the world all year
よく
long?
見えるか
And
も
I
しれないです
looked
ね。
into it and I found out what exactly they're doing, and it's mainly DHL who's shipping their cars, engines, the people from race to race, country to country. It's a
こういう
big deal.
機で
So
もあんな
everything
風
goes
に
by
して
water. And I was
情
like, you know
報
what?
視
I'm
界
gonna
を
try to
確
do
保
like
してるというの
a
は
Microsoft
なか
Flight
なか
Sim, Flight Sim
思
World Tour
い
where I
つかな
fly
いあれ
from
で
race
した
to
ね。
race, and it's been really
まあ
interesting.
胴体の上な
One
ん
part
で別に揚力を発生してないかもしれないですからね。
have a little short break in the season, and we go back to I think the Dutch Grand Prix is next. That's a big deal something I'm doing right now, and then when I finish that, I'll probably do another series. But that's what I got going on right now. But yeah, so that's reviews,
日本とは
flight
違
sim, live
う世
streams,
界
and
だ
things。like that. Also do other types of simulation, being train simulation, racing sim, trucking sim. I'm just
これ
a
は縦
simmer.
に2人乗る
That's what I
飛
do.
行機なのかな
Very cool. Okay, so I mentioned pub trivia, and there was an aviation question. There was also a Formula One question
Uh-oh.
yesterday. So, Blue, I'm going to put you on the spot. Chat, feel free to
boy.
play along, or Peterson,
Oh,
Tom
no.
Hermanos, if you know this one. My team got this one right. So we got the Qantas question wrong, but we got the Formula One question right. So in Formula One, you've got, of course, the Drivers' Championship. You've got the Constructors' Championship. There's also a third one. There's the engine manufacturers. There's not like an official title for this, but different constructors use different
今日の
models
隊
of
長の飛行
engines.
機は
So all
CC19
time, across the entire history of Formula One, name any three of the top 5 engine manufacturers for most Formula One race wins.
I mean, I gotta say Mercedes.
Mercedes, Ferrari.
And Renault? I don't know how successful.
I
So-
don't know, has been
No,
gone for
Blue
quite a
is right.
while.
That was exactly my guess as well. That is correct.
wow.
Ferrari is number 1, Mercedes is number 2, Renault is number 4. So we're
Okay,
looking
so
for
that
the
counts.
number 3 and number 5 right now.
Williams.
Williams
that's
is a
Mercedes.
constructor, not
That's Mercedes.
not an engine manufacturer.
Lotus, no.
I'm
I think-
seeing both right answers in chat.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
McLaren?
McLaren.
No, McLaren again is
They
a
don't make an
constructor, not
engine,
an engine
though.
manufacturer.
Yeah, they don't make engines.
セサン108
Ah,
BMW? No.
黄色いリバリー
wow. Well, whenever you say it, I'm gonna be like, duh. I know. Is it a? Do you know if it's a current? It's a Honda.
Honda is 5.
Ah.
So we're looking for the number 3 right now. Again, chat. Some people in chat have got it.
I love this answer, John Deere. Oh man.
Elkin
Nice.
David is basically exactly right. Ford Cosworth is number 3.
ツアー
But interestingly enough, they haven't had a win in over 20 years.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, but all-time historic, they are number 3 in
Are there-
Formula One engine manufacturer wins. So Ferrari is number 1 all-time, Mercedes number 2, Ford Cosworth number 3, Renault number 4, and Honda number 5. And what's interesting, the gap between Renault and Honda is huge. Something like Renault has like double the wins that Honda has, but then the top
Well,
4
Mercedes no
are all
話でしょうかね。
sort of relatively close.
That's all going to change very soon. I didn't know there was an engine constructor.
Well, there's not an official title for that or an award. There's the World Drivers' Championship, the World Constructors' Championship, but different teams use different engines, and that was the question we had at trivia last night. Was name 3 of the top 5 all-time winning engine manufacturers in Formula One.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Is Ford still currently involved in Formula One, engine-wise?
Someone in chat saying they're coming back next year. They're going to provide the engines for Red Bull.
Cool.
Coming back.
But yeah, according to we looked this up online, Ford hasn't had a win since 2003.
Yeah. I mean, if no one is using their engines, that's not weird, right?
なかなか戦闘グループに追いつきませんな。もうちょいなんだけど。
So chat, good job. Collectively, we got it. Blue, you also got it.
I got most of it.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed Ford. I legit would never said Ford.
I mean, I didn't either, but we still got. You only had to name 3 out of 5, so you got the same 3 that I said. Ferrari, Ferrari, Mercedes, and Renault.
I think I'm gonna have to sleep forward a bit because otherwise.
テクスチャ残念区域に近づいてきた。ようやく戦闘グルー
Look
プに
who's
近
in
づ
the
いてきた
inferior
か。
cub here, Peter. Can't even keep up with the pack.
It's just
Shame.
I'm doing 83
高
knots
度が
indicated.
高い
I'm
高
using
度は
live
この
weather.
飛
What
行機ダ
about
メ
you?
なのかな。
I'm using live weather.
スーパーチャージャーの切り替えとかあんのかな。
There we have it.
I'm still 40 miles out to the next waypoint.
There's kind of a headwind here.
Yeah, I'm 20 miles out to see the elephants.
Oh well.
I just got pinged in the Trustmaster Discord about the video with Blue.
Oh
So
wow.
that's a coincidence.
Or not.
That's all.
All right, so Blue, we've given you an opportunity to promote yourself as we head on to the next waypoint. Let's talk about Hermanos now, or Arctic Tern. Why don't you tell a little bit about what you do and the absolutely great charity work that you do as
Oh,
part of your
Hide.
streaming.
ここら辺
Yeah,
も
so
テクス
since
チャがひでえエリアですよ。
2020,
こ
our
れは
organization
ひ
has
でえ。
raised over $30,000 for people in western Venezuela. That's medicine, food, supplies. We have a team on the ground there that crosses into Colombia and brings stuff, and so we replicate those flights in the flight simulator, mostly on Saturdays, primarily on YouTube
こん
these
なひどい
days,
とこで
and
ゾウ
we're
さんは
running
も
a
う
Patreon
残念極
now,
まりない
which
気
has
がしんで
custom
もないで
stuff
す
like
よ。
delivery you see and a bunch of other add-ons, cool stuff going on in there.
Yeah. So I put a link to your Patreon in the chat, and just for everyone's benefit, you are a government-registered charity organization in the state of Washington, United
Yeah.
States.
Yep.
So everything is on the up and up. Everything is handled appropriately, and you're not personally profiting from this. All the money that people donate will go directly to the cause.
That's correct.
Alright, I am in the vicinity of where elephants are supposed to
お
be.
ー
I am
キャッホ
searching.
ー
Okay. You have fauna markers turned on.
I do not.
You might want to do that just to make them easier to spot.
That's the whole challenge.
I already see them.
I do
You
have them
already?
on, but I don't think I have
I
fauna
do
on.
see them. Yeah.
Oh,
There he-
You see the
Tom, you got
marker?
oh,
No,
look
that's,
at this.
That's a car.
There we go. Tom has got the elephants in sight with the drone
Oh,
cam.
sweet.
Oh, so they
That's what I
actually
should've did.
have the moving marker now.
Oh, it doesn't move?
Oh yeah, yeah.
The marker is moving with them.
The marker is moving with the elephants. That's nice. So that makes it a lot easier.
も
So
う
there
よう
we
や
go
く隊
for
長た
World
ちが見え
Elephant
て
Day
きた。
tomorrow. Again, it's an international commemorative event to promote the conservation of these magnificent creatures. Very much an anti-poaching event. We're very happy and pleased to present you some elephants in Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Fine, Tom.
Good job.
Marker kind of helped.
There's one behind you all the time. And you never saw it. So.
ひでえ
You know, if we can
テクス
address
チャ
the
ージャー
elephant in the room here.
Wow.
Hi, elephant.
Where is factual?
Yeah, it's factual roast.
Right.
Yeah, where is factual? She would have loved that one.
Where is factual?
Factual's on vacation this week.
Ah.
Yeah, anyone's in her Discord server, she posted that she's not streaming on Twitch this week because she is away on vacation.
What is vacation?
Right? What is vacation?
This mythical.
Yeah, that's mystical thing.
Dark RL working at an elephant. Well, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, there are several places around the world where you can see elephants in the simulator, including where we're flying today in Ethiopia.
say the animations are pretty good.
I was just thinking that too. That looked really good.
This is a flight simulator.
Now, if you've seen some of the feature announcements for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, one of the things, I think it was at Flight Sim Expo, one of the things Jorg announced that's being added to Flight Sim 2024 is real-world modeling of actual animal herd migrations. So they're adding a lot more animals to the sim, and you can track their movements, and it'll be modeled to where the real animal herds are located in real life. So, for example, the Great Migration that happens in East Africa every year, where there's like over 1 million zebra and wildebeest and buffalo, and then the resulting predator animals that follow these great herds. It'll accurately track the position of the Great Migration.
Also birds, because that might be problematic. Well, it's necessarily problematic, but challenging.
Oh, Blue, you got a fan in the chat here. Dark says, Blue, I love your vids and your funny memes on Instagram.
Appreciate it.
And Hermanos, Joey Bolo is asking if there will be turn migrations.
It's a good question for Jorg. It's a pretty major one.
Kind of migrations?
Arctic terns.
Oh.
It's the longest bird migration in the world. Like 12,500 nautical miles or something, pole to pole.
You know what would be cool is to follow the migration of the monarch butterfly and do a flight. I don't know if they'll be modeled in the sim. It's probably pretty hard to spot insects from the air. But maybe if there's a giant flock of them. What do you call a swarm? What's the collective noun for a group of butterflies? Anyone in the chat know?
It's a mall of monarchs. No, I'm just kidding.
A court?
Monarchy.
No.
A
group of
court of
butterflies.
monarch butterflies?
Of course.
You know, CD? It's officially called a kaleidoscope.
Is it really? Is that the right term?
It is really.
That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
cool.
A kaleidoscope of butterflies.
Or flutter.
Like if it was like an orange cloud or something that was being tracked,
Yeah. But yeah, the monarch butterfly migration is a very cool path to follow.
I finally found elephants.
Oh, you found them, Blue?
Yes.
Oh yeah, look at this. So once again, wishing everyone a happy World Elephant Day, which is tomorrow, August 12th. It's been an international observance every year since 2012, and it's to promote conservation and anti-poaching of these magnificent creatures.
すんげえちっちゃいのかな。
Look at them, they're kind of walking in a circle.
Some of them.
Ritual.
動物層も旗が立つって旗立つって
So I
ことかな。あれ
I'm
が
not
そうな
I
の
don't
か
know
な。
much about elephants, but in my time of watching
Those are frog
documentaries
gun.
today, found out that they're one of the smartest mammal or animals.
It's true. Yeah.
They're-
Emotionally attached also.
There's at least one elephant in a zoo that the zookeepers have trained it to paint, and it actually does artwork, and it paints self-portraits. Let me-
Self-portraits?
Yeah, hang on. Let me look this up.
I want to see that.
It's always an important step to see how smart they are if they can, recognize themselves.
Yeah, if they have a grasp of how they're looking.
Yeah, like if you hold a mirror that they know attack it.
I'm gonna
So
try to
they, know,
ride it.
they know it's them. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all. So dolphins have that.
Look
monkeys
な
have that.
象。あそこに象がいるんだな。
Only a few animals have
Elephant.
that. Elephants are pretty.
よし。
I'll ride an elephant.
象の
There we
旗
go.
を細く。
I'll ride an elephant.
そうか、こんなとこにいるんだ。
Sir,
He doesn't mind.
Sir, please step away from the elephant.
All right, look at this. So this is if you search online for elephant self-portrait.
Wow.
Pretty accurate as well.
It is.
I mean, I think it does outdraw me.
I mean, that's better than I could do.
Exactly.
So I was watching this documentary, and they were talking about how smart elephants were, and obviously human beings are taking over other habitats and whatnot. And I think it was in Thailand or somewhere in Asia, where they're tearing down a bunch of trees, like palm trees. And the elephants have learned that, when they tear the palm trees down, we can now go over there and take the palms because, they're on the ground. And so they'll go out there right next to the excavators and the machines that are, tearing trees down. They'll walk out right next to it and start eating palm leaves. Like a whole herd of them. And they keep coming back to that spot because they know they can get free palm trees there.
Nice.
Here's a different elephant, it looks like, also drawing a subportrait. This one doesn't look quite as good, but you can still, you can make that out. Like that, if you're doing an ink blot test, you would definitely guess elephant for that.
He probably has a lousy brush or something. The paint is too dry. It's not him, obviously. It's just the materials he's working.
Maybe he's left-handed.
Or
apparently, I'm flying over the elephants now. I didn't descend to see them, and I don't see the fauna marker. But they're in this valley somewhere below me, right?
Yeah, they're like on the river, that river down there.
Oh, there's the fauna marker, right there. It says Bugna elephants. All right, let me disable my autopilot, and I'm going to descend and see if I can spot them. What plane should I buy in the Microsoft Flight Sim store? Whatever you like. There's no right or wrong answer. You buy what planes excite you. Different people are going to have a different answer to that. I know for a lot of people, they're going to say the PMDG 737. It's very highly regarded in the community. For me personally, I'm not an airline guy. I like flying GA planes, so it's not something that I'm personally interested in. But to each their own, right? Different people are going to have different answers.
I do want to ask you, what is your go-to? Like if you're not streaming, you're not recording, you're not testing. Just all right. I'm just gonna sit in front of myself.
Yeah. Okay. Great question. And this is the one. If I was a multi-millionaire and had money to blow on a private aircraft, Cirrus Vision Jet, and that's one I love flying in the sim as well. It's from Flight FX, I think, is the maker of that one, and it's really well done. It's a great plane. It's so fun to fly. And
Avanti, if I'm not mistaken.
I see some people have landed their planes next to the elephants.
For elephants.
Right here, look. You got three people on the ground, 4 people on the ground, and then there's the elephants all gathering around each other.
If you continue after that waypoint, you might want to climb to 10,700 feet.
What?
Or otherwise, no bueno.
So there's our cockpit view. If we were actually doing a real aerial safari here, this is what we'd be seeing. There's the elephants below us, as seen from the cockpit view.
こんなに飛行機で囲んで気の毒な歩いとるうおすげえなお
Alright, I'm going to continue on and follow the flight plan. Tom, looks like you're doing the same. Lou, you still got the drone camera following the elephants. Very cool.
Just tossed the drone out the back of the DC-3.
ゾウさんオスばっかか。
I'm cheating a bit.
あれオス耳の大きさがオスメスで変わるわけじゃないのか、ゾウさんって。うひょーすげえ、やっぱり立派な生きのものじゃな、ゾウさんは。
By the way, knock on wood, everyone, not to jinx it, but my PC is not overheating today.
You literally just jinxed it.
Yeah, I know. I've cursed myself now. But if you were watching the stream last week, it was really hot in my apartment, and I don't have great ventilation, and I don't have air conditioning, and my PC was overheating pretty bad. Accessum, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. These are the elephant safaris. Yeah, we're on elephant safari today in Ethiopia, and we found a herd of elephants.
It's legit hard to believe this is Microsoft Flight Sim. Like these are not like these elephants look better than any other game I've seen elephants in.
Like Zoo Tycoon.
Like Zoo Tycoon.
You're saying these elephants look better than the elephants from Zoo Tycoon? Yes. Really? That's a very, very interesting statement.
いや、マジファンタスティックですよ。
Elaborate. Oh, you were
I'm like, are you saying that because you guys
elephants
from Zoo Tycoon?
Well, I mean,
Wait,
Zoo
there a thing
Tycoon
like
is
that?
another,
I remember something.
Microsoft Xbox Studios
こんなにす
products.
ごいよくできてるとは思わなかったぜ。
Don't want to have any kind of rivalry with our.
No, we wouldn't want that, would we?
No.
Well, rivalries are what make makes things great.
Can't pronounce this name. I'll do my best. Aodhan, Oddhan. Sorry if I incorrectly said. Elephants are scary animals when you see them in Africa. Well, you know, if you just joined the stream, I actually did see elephants in Africa. I was on safari about 3 or 4 years ago and saw lots of elephants there. Some relatively right up close too, and I wasn't scared, thankfully. You know, inside the safari vehicle, we weren't agitating them, we weren't disturbing them as much as possible, and I certainly wasn't scared. The most dangerous animal in Africa, not counting the mosquito, which by far has the largest kill counts because of the way it spreads disease, in particular malaria. But not counting the mosquito, what is the most dangerous animal in Africa?
The hippo.
It is the hippo, yeah.
Explain.
They're very aggressive. They're very territorial. They're herbivores. They
動い
don't
ちょるから
kill
でもあれ
other
だね
animals to eat. They kill other animals to defend their territory.
こうい
And
う
they're fast. You
木の
cannot
中に
outrun a
入ってる
hippo.
と
You
分かんな
cannot
くなっちゃう
outswim
ね
a hippo.
How
You
do
would
they
have
kill
thought
you?
that.
Do they bite or do they crush you or
お
what
ー
do
こ
they
んな
do?
ところで暮らしとったかどうか
I
の
would
タッチ
imagine,
は
yeah, they just crush you.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark fly will give you the instructions on how to join.
そうか
They stomp you, says Rage.
Oh, sure.
Yes, they crush you to death.
へえ感動
That's sense.
じゃあ
Yes, hippos are
元気に生
very
きてくれ
aggressively territorial. And what is the territory of a hippo? Well, they like to be near water. And unfortunately, there are still many parts of Africa that don't have indoor plumbing and running water. And so people who live there, humans who live there, they need to go to the nearest stream, lake, river to collect drinking water. And sometimes there's
歩いとる
hippos
歩い
there.
とるぞさん
And
が歩い
sometimes
と
the
る
hippos defend their territory. So that's why, in terms of the greatest number of
す
humans that
げ
are
え
killed by
な
an
フライ
animal
トシミュレー
is
タ
the
ー
hippo. Again, not counting mosquitoes who spread disease.
So what's the next most dangerous after the hippo?
Elephant, lion, I believe something like that.
You know, I don't know. I know shark is way down there. Sharks
Yeah,
kill
sharks
so
do.
few people.
Sharks don't
The disconnect between the number of people who are scared of sharks versus the number of people who are actually killed by sharks, there's such a huge gap.
次の目的地は
I'm gonna search this online right now. Most
いやー
dangerous
今見た
animals.
It only takes one one death to clear the
So
world.
I have a list here that says mosquitoes 1, humans 2, snakes,
まあダメ
Just
ダメダメ
snakes as a whole.
ダメダメ
Three.
テクスチャーエリアを
dogs
通過していくんだ
4,
な
assassin bugs, Chagas disease 5, scorpions 6, crocodile 7. But
Okay, I found a website. It's one of those sites where you have to like click through
なんだけね
each
飛行機
animal
が
on a
ゾウさん
different
に
page,
群がっ
and
とる
there's 35 of them, so I don't want to do 35 clicks.
Oh my
It
god.
says this is updated April 2023, so it's accurate as of 4 months ago. Most dangerous animals on Earth, and the photo on the page, on the front page, is a hippo.
I have a site from the BBC here that says hippo 1, elephants 2, saltwater crocodile 3, roundworms 4, scorpions 5, assassin bug 6,
フグブグナ
sawscale
ゾウ
viper, snake 7.
なるほどこういうふうに見るんだ初めて見た
Freshwater
What?
snails,
ゾウとかそういう
This
のが
one
い
may
るのは
surprise
知
you.
って
Yes,
た
it
けど
does.
because they have a venom of some kind.
So they host deadly parasites,
Oh,
We'll
okay.
eat them.
and we'll eat them. Yeah.
Here's an interesting hippo story, though. I got an interesting hippo story. Did you know there are hippos that live in numbers outside of Africa? Not just in Africa.
No, where?
Where's the second biggest distribution of hippos?
I mean, I'm gonna guess just because of your background, I'm gonna guess South America somewhere, but
It's
like
Colombia.
along
because
the Amazon.
Escobar brought them in for his private zoo, and then they mated, and they're all over the rivers in Colombia. I mean, it's not
Oh,
that.
my
It's like
God.
estimates are like between 100 and 200 total, but still pretty
Still.
crazy.
I'm coming up to the next touch and go. I'm 4 miles out at the moment, so I'm starting my descent.
also 4 miles out. Yeah, I get stuff.
おー
Cheater.
Yeah, I
I
come
passed that
from 30-degree offset direction, but still, right? Counts.
Is it a Hull?
アフリカですよ。ってことはさっきのアフリカ像
I
って
believe
こ
that's
とだ
right.
な
Yeah.
Yeah. Hotel Alpha Lima Lima. Yeah.
Oh well.
Oh well.
So did they name that
Tatarimai da.
species of hippo Pablo Escobar hippos?
I don't think they have a different name.
Should have.
Dark, our flight isn't over yet. This is just a touch and go landing. We're still going to continue flying after this. So if you're just joining now, no problem at all.
That's a broad question. Are there any add-ons anyone recommends?
I'm sure there are lots.
You have a
of
couple
add-ons.
of hours.
Sure, there are lots of.
All right. Is that looks like the runway there to my
最高
kind of 2 o'clock, right? I think that's the runway.
If you don't mind, I'll just continue cruising.
We do mind.
You know what? In a
Yeah.
bush plane, you can land anywhere. I'm going to declare that's the runway, whether it is or not.
Yes.
Oh no, look, it's to my 12. There's actually a paved runway here. It's not a dirt strip. There's an actual properly paved runway here. All right, let me line up and do a proper final to that. I was not expecting a like a legitimately well-maintained paved runway here. Okay, very interesting. I was going to land on a taxiway. Wow, that's embarrassing.
So what do you think? Africa
Oh
doesn't have paved
well,
runways?
Mr. Ford, what are you doing?
No,
now?
I mean, Africa has lots of paved runways. I mean, I've flown into Africa and landed on a paved runway in Africa in Tanzania, but out here in the bush, you know, on a bush flight where we're doing elephant safari, I was not expecting to encounter paved runway here. Stall horn armed, yes indeed. Here we go. Very aggressive turn onto final. I've also landed on a dirt strip in Africa in a Cessna Caravan, which is really cool.
What was that like?
That was fun. That was how I got basically to the starting point of the safari.
ラリベラ
Safari guides picked me up at this
ラリベラに
airport.
おりますね
Serenora Airstrip, if you want to look that one up, in Tanzania, near Serengeti National Park. It's a little tiny dirt strip with a really small terminal. And we flew there by Cessna Caravan. Oh, I'm floating pretty badly here.
Genuinely had me scared.
Wow.
Are you down
Okay,
yet?
whoa, I'm actually on the ground. Okay, that was such a smooth landing, I didn't even realize I had touched down. I was off center line though, so I can't get myself a great score on that. But very smooth touchdown, just not properly on the center line. All right, and rotates. Positive rates.
あれか
All right, who's landing next?
Well, pretty
me.
close.
滑走路はどっち向きなんじゃ
Not me either.
You're pretty close, Manos? Yeah.
I'm about to fly over, but I'm not
う
landing.
わ
What's the airport elevation, you think?
滑走路の向きが電動だからね
Probably around 6,000, maybe a little over 6,000.
I do a low pass.
まあ谷に沿ってんじゃん
I'll
ね
try to take off again.
Nope. Not taking my chances today. I barely got in there in the first place.
Oh, man.
The miracle we up here.
Are there hippos and giraffes in this sim? There are definitely giraffes, and in fact, our next waypoint, I believe, is giraffes.
Oh.
If I remember correctly.
I thought there were hippos in this sim.
There may be hippos, I'm not sure. There might be.
I'm pretty sure there are. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen bears.
これ
I've
か
seen-
こうか
Hopefully we will see giraffes on
これ
this
と
flight.
短い滑走路でございますなじゃあ行くか、今日は今のところまだ一度もタッチングオーバーせず墜落2
I'm
回
getting a really weird yawing in my plane. Not sure if it's still
なかなか
there.
快調に落ちているからね
But
Yawning or yawing?
yawing.
若干ちょっと無茶なアプローチになってしまった気はせんでもないが、若干ではないな、かなり無茶なアプローチになってしまった気はせんでもないが、
We got some folk rock here.
どうじゃ、いけるか。
Fire and rain. Remember that episode of The Simpsons when James Taylor
サイ
was
ドス
singing
リップ
songs
で
to the
思いっきり
astronauts
ス
in
ピ
orbit?
ードを緩めつつ、
I'm just gonna sing and you're gonna float there and like it.
一応タッチインはしたけど、まずスピードが安く、わあ、前から衝突だ、大事故、せい。このぐらいなら
Yeah, we may have to climb a little bit higher. I've got a kind of high ridge.
10,700 will do it.
10,700?
But that's on live weather.
じゃあ次の目的地に向けてコースを取っていくぜ。いやー、反省したなー。辛いな
You found giraffes, Tom?
ー、人生で。
Already?
Oh, look at that!
Oh, that's sick.
It will become so much useful when it's a giraffe, World Giraffe Day, actually.
That makes me wonder now, is there a World Giraffe Day? Look that
I
up.
don't know.
Or giraffes.
Pretty sure everybody gets at least one day of the year.
Oh, we
I
missed
wonder.
it. We missed it.
Ah.
And it was on a Friday, too. It
Ah.
was Friday, June 21st.
What did we have instead?
What did we do instead that day? I'm gonna look that up now because it might have been something even better that we did that day.
I can hardly imagine.
Can't be better than World Giraffe Day.
Right?
Oh, no,
I was
sorry,
thinking.
that's next year. That's 2024. Is Friday, June 21st. Okay, so what
ラ
was
スタ。
well, our
Close to
closest
June.
screen to June 21st would have been June 23rd. So what did we do on June
ラスタの街で
23rd?
すね。
June 24th, we had to fly in. The Flight Sim Expo.
Oh yes, yeah. We didn't do a Friday stream. We did a Saturday stream, and that was the one where we flew to
Yeah.
Flight Sim Expo. Yeah, we would have done that
Yeah.
regardless. Yeah, we wouldn't have done a Giraffe Day stream
Why
that
not?
week.
こう
Because
いう
we
上
did
が
Flight Sim
平
Expo
たい
that。week. And we had
Giraffes.
we had live reporter Jane from the convention floor.
But giraffes. She could have gone to a zoo instead. I mean,
Houston does have a zoo with giraffes.
right?
Tom, we had a question from chat. Now, Tom is a professional drone pilot, so he really does know what he's doing. Tom, we have a question from Surly Devs. How do you control the
ドア
drones?
ブでか、
Expert control.
ところどころに建物があり、
Just using the default method.
This guy,
人
right?
間が暮らしている跡もあり
Look。at you, good sponsors. My
アフリ
goodness.
カ。
Right?
Bro, we got Microsoft.
まあ
with
でも
us.
準備
Microsoft
させてもらったらもうちょっとになるな。
I feel left out here. CD, can you send me one, man?
I've got
Oh,
I've got
come
my
on, man.
electric Volt Xbox
Wait,
controller.
hold on. Hold on.
Uh-oh, he's getting his real drone.
I should
control.
have shown this one to make even more
Oh,
advertising.
man.
It's the Starfield one.
Oh,
Oh, I'm jealous.
nice. Starfield, of course, we're only about a month away now.
なかなか壮大な
Very highly anticipated title coming
やっ
to
ぱ地形ですな。
Xbox Series X and S and PC, of course, available on Game Pass day one. Next big RPG from Bethesda, creators, of course, of the Elder Scrolls series like Skyrim and Fallout 3, Fallout 4. So we're super excited for that. I personally cannot wait to play Starfield.
Yeah,
so-
same.
崖
I'll be playing it
Just
for sure. Day one.
Play
day one.
that on the
Okay,
Friday
well,
closest
you
to
can-
release.
こう登っていくだけのパワーあるのかこの飛行機に。
We need a Starfield stream now.
Yeah.
Now you got me wondering. I mean, I've been purposely trying to avoid spoilers for Starfield. So I know it's like set in the future where humanity has sort of like gone to space and created
何やってん
settlements
だろう、
on
あそこで
planets
止
and
まって
stuff.
る人たちは。
Is,
なん
is
かいい
Earth
のがあるのかな。
somewhere you can visit in Starfield,
Okay.
or does it take place in like a distant star system?
ちょっと乗り越えられないな、このコースじゃ。
I don't
Anyone
know
know?
if they have.
I'm pretty sure
released
it's
that bit of
ちょっ
information.
と無理になってきた。
I don't actually know anything, but I'm pretty sure it's
一旦引き返して、
fictional.
もっと斜めりながら
There's
上
a
昇
lot
してい
of
かないとダメ
planets
だ
you。can visit.
Oh, Tuscan's saying you can visit Mars. Okay. Right.
Oh, that's cool.
If you can visit Mars, you should be able to visit Earth, right?
So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe maybe we do like a flight. I know we've done this before, but like to Kennedy Space Center or something.
Then from there we can launch into Starfield.
Exactly.
登っていけね
I always try to think of like ways we can mix
え。
like
富士山
flight
は
simulator with
角
other
度でも登っていけなかったも
genres
ん
of
な。
stuff. Because like flight sim is so vague, right? It's everything. You have the entire world. You can
やっ
go
ぱジェット
anywhere,
戦闘機のつもり
and
で
you're
行くと
really only limited to your imagination.
I mean, in November we'll have the June stuff.
乗り越えられね
Yeah.
え。昔松本
There was a
零士
YouTube
の
video
スタンレ
I
ー
saw
の
a few
魔
months
女ってい
ago
う
where it was
一式陸上攻撃機さんの
visualizing
片肺になっちゃって片っぽエンジンが壊れて
that exists.
もう一
So
個
it
で
had
山を
things
越え
like,
られない
Grand Theft Auto 3 and various different Assassin's Creed
という
games.
漫
And,
画を
Skyrim.
Map size.
そういうと同じな
Map
かなか
size, exactly. And then it got to, and so it was giving it to you in like square
登っていかないでございますよ。
kilometers. And then it got to Microsoft Flight Simulator, which of course literally has the entire world. And I thought, oh well, nothing's gonna beat that. And then it got to like Elite Dangerous, which has the entire Milky Way galaxy. I was like, oh, never mind then.
あんまり高度が高いところで性能が今一つなのかもしれんな、この飛行機のエンジン。
Bye to the G-Rams.
Bye, giraffes.
登っていけないんだけど。
Have a great time.
You know, something I always thought would be cool to see in Microsoft Flight Sim would be like an actual spaceship,
やべえ。
like that you can launch
旋
from
回を
one
す
of
るのに
the
高度を失
NASA
う。
launch pads or something
Oh,
like
okay. I was gonna say we've got the Halo Pelican, but you mean
Yeah,
something
but-
actually-
that. I'm talking about like a legit spaceship. Like
Well, okay, well,
10
hang
万
on,
フ
hear
ィ
me,
ート
hear
の
me out.
壁を
that
越えら
uses
れ
like
ない。
aerodynamics and
What,
like
what
the
about
real
what
world
about the
physics.
Dark Star? I mean,
Yeah.
that can go into kind of
That
not
counts.
orbit,
Low orbit.
but it can go.
counts.
It can go above what's the Kármán line? Is that what it's called? Which is considered the boundary between the atmosphere and space.
Yeah. But I mean like something that can just shoot straight up. The Dark Star you gotta get a good you know,
Right.
gotta
So like a rocket is
game.
kind
もう
of
ちょっ
what
と
you're.
時間をかけん
Some Kerbals would be interested.
登らね
Yeah.
え。
Just make sure all the smoke effects are there and you'll make me happy. That's all I really care about.
I actually played a demo
ちょ
version
っと
of
ミ
a
クス
game.
チャーをいじったらいけるか
Claims to be one of the first games
若干あいかん
proper
な
space physics.
Yeah.
Apart from Kerbal.
Re-entry.
Flight of
ミクスチャ
Nova,
ーいじったらエン
which
ジン
is
回転数
indeed
上がったぞ。
actually
リン側
correctly
に振っち
physically
ゃらな。やっぱり
simulating the re-entry paths and actually physics of going back and forth to space.
That's cool.
もうちょっとパワーアッ
It's really hard to not let your spaceship
Open
explode
mixture
because of heat and
じゃないん
stuff
じゃ。
like that. Pretty cool.
That is really
プ。
cool.
お、超えた超えた。
Booper asked, "Did you see the guy who
そう
jumped
か、
from space?"
空気
Felix,
が
yeah,
薄
Felix
くなったから。
Baumgartner. We'd actually talked a little bit
う
about that.
わーこんな
If you
高い
haven't
と
seen
ころで
yet,
もこんな平た
Microsoft
いが
Flight
な。
Simulator, we released the Red Bull Bullseye Landing Challenge a few weeks ago. So this is recreating an
もう
actual
コースに戻っ
Red
た
Bull flight where a pilot landed
なる
on
ほど。
the helipad of the Burj Al Arab
高
hotel
度
in
の高いところ
Dubai.
でやっぱり混
Done
合
in
機
real
の
life a few months
ano,
ago, and now you can attempt that yourself in Microsoft Flight Simulator. We did that in partnership with
空
Red
燃
Bull.
費
And yeah, that was
を合わせてやら
Felix
んとあかんという
Baumgartner.
ことが分かり、
Also,
また
in
一つ
partnership with
学び
Red
があり
Bull
ま
about
した。
10 years ago now, parachuted basically from the limits of the atmosphere, but kind of like as high as you can go, like the boundary of space. Oh, I got this a really cool view here. Look at this valley unfolding below
That
me.
looks amazing.
This canyon.
Yeah,
Very
it's
reminiscent of like the
rough.
Grand Canyon almost, right?
Yeah.
Like look how spectacular that is.
Is that I know that there is a canyon in Africa. It's like their Grand Canyon. I can't remember the name. Maybe
そ
someone
し
in
て
chat.
高度が
South
高いというと
Africa.
ころでは意
Yeah,
外とこ
I
の
think
飛行
it's
機が
even bigger than.
性能が悪化し
I
て
think,
し
yeah,
ま
I
う
think
と
it's
いう
bigger
の
than
も
Grand
分かり
Canyon,
ました。
but
これも学びがありましたね。
What a view.
amazing.
And here, I'm at 11,500 feet. Just, if you were on the ground here, you'd probably be close to 10,000 feet at the edge of this
この飛行
canyon.
機のスペックを見ておこうかな。
It's pretty mind blowing if you think about it.
Spectacular. Yeah, it's pretty cool to be back flying in Africa today.
Yeah.
Like I said, we haven't done an African flight in a while. I know they've been very popular. About a year
こ
ago,
んな
we did a
平
flight
たい
in
ところなの
Namibia,
に高度
on Namibia Day,
1万フィ
flying
ート
over the
超えて
desert
ますから
sandy dunes,
3000
and
メ
that
ー
was
タ
one
ー
of the
以
most
上で
popular
すよ。
fly-ins when we did that one.
すげえな。
Yeah, Africa is a really nice continent. And I think the reason why you don't see people fly there as often is because it's less known. You don't really know where to go.
DC3。
There's less popular international
出発
airports,
した
you
時
know,
に見た
around
り
the
はあ
entire.
る
You
か
know,
な。
obviously, there's South
まあちょっと
South
違う
Africa
か。
and then some places in Northern Africa, but like to do like a
う
even
わ
for
ー、ご
the
めん、
airline,
ぶ
like
つかっちゃ
transit
った
airline。and stuff, like
ぶつかんない予定
the
だったけ
usual
ど、すい
local
ませ
flights are
ん。
like 4 hours long.
インシデン
Everything
ト
is
が
far
発
away.
生しました。
So I think that's
びっくら
probably
した。
why. It's so nice when you get a taste of it.
Very
おお、すごい
um,
スピードでグリペンが飛
geographically
んでる。
diverse too. You know, Africa is the second largest continent after Asia, and any kind of terrain you would want to fly over, you can find it in Africa. Whether it's beautiful canyons like we're seeing here in the highlands of Ethiopia, you know, obviously, you know, sandy desert dunes either in the Sahara or the Namib Desert, which we talked about a few
そういう
moments
高いと
ago.
ころで
You know,
暮ら
jungle
して
rainforests,
走
built
っ
up
てるからマラソ
huge
ンとか強いん
metropolis
ですね。
cities. You know, anything you're looking for, you can find it in Africa. So, encouragement, you don't necessarily need to do it on Fly-In Friday, but just in your own flying when you're playing Microsoft Flight Sim. Maybe get out of your comfort zone a little bit and do some flights in Africa.
Finally above the canyon.
Coming up to some more elephants, but I have not found them.
Oh, even more, Tom?
Yes,
Jeez.
まあまあ
How many do you
快
want?
調に飛んでおりますな。
all of them.
Well, it is World Elephant Day tomorrow.
We're a bit early.
My patio door behind me just blew open, wide open. I had it open a crack to get some cool air in, and a gust of breeze just completely blew it wide open.
Uh-oh.
All right, when Blue says "uh-oh," we got to go to his point of view.
No, do
Oh.
not come over here. I'm putting my gear down.
Uh-oh.
I think we
Uh-oh.
might have emergency landing.
Okay, well, I'm definitely leaving it on your view now. Then.
おお、やっぱジェット戦闘機はまあ
I think I don't know. I lost
別
both
次元の
It couldn't be
Not even
possible.
honest,
It's
no.
fuel starvation, right?
I hope not. Guess we'll find out here in a few seconds. I'm pulling as far back as I can on the stick.
You'll be fine.
Flip your fuel switches a couple times, see if you can get the.
Nice landing.
Okay,
That worked.
saved it.
There you go.
じゃあ何かやっぱムスタングだったか。
Oh, it's smoking. That isn't good. Is it?
ちょっとロールがもっさりしてるんだよな、ムスタング。
All right. Well,
I had a bit of an adventure there, live on the stream. Totally
Yeah.
unplanned.
not at all.
Inquest says, as far as emergency landings go,
う
that
わ
was
す
pretty
げえ
good.
谷だ。
Yep.
Might have run out of fuel.
ここも多分降りたらもう上がってこれね。
Yeah, it was fuel.
It
it
was
was fuel. Well, go ahead and get some. Bring out the you know, gas can. It's in the
Look
back.
at this.
いやー、
Sim
や
Tom
っ
with the
ぱ
very
アフリカ
artistic
もす
shots
げえ
with the
わ。
grass
Oh,
in the
that's-
foreground. And
Don't get too close, Tom.
こんなとこで何やって暮らしてんだろ
This is like BBC level of zoom.
う。
Right.
やっ
We
ぱ
just
農
need
業
to-
なんでしょうかね。
David
We
Attenborough.
do,
Attenborough.
we're doing David Attenborough now.
yeah. Who
Okay.
can do their best David Attenborough impression?
Oh no.
I'm not even going to
Oh,
attempt it. He's got such a
Dickie
unique voice.
This service.
I'm not gonna jeopardize his talent with my.
おお、すげえ。この地形は川が作った
Inquest, by the
のか
way, is one of our community managers. If you're not aware of her, she says this is where the
すげえ
flying
な。
photo was taken. Yeah, so if you see the banner images that we post on the forums and on our socials, Twitter and Facebook every week, advertising these community fly-in events, all those screenshots are taken by Inquest, and she does a fantastic job getting really artistic-looking shots to promote our Fly-In Fridays. And so it was in this spot, as Inquest said, that she captured the
こ
image
の
for this
飛行
week's
機アップアッ
Fly-In
プな
Fridays.
ので、
This is a pretty epic view.
この谷をまあ
On your screen,
走ってい
here?
くことはできるでしょう
Ooh,
が、谷から
yeah, it is
上に
an
上がれない。
Oh wow.
すげえでっけえ谷だ。
Boober's asking, Inquest, do you post on Twitter? So Inquest does a lot of the posting from the official Microsoft Flight Simulator Twitter account at MSFS Official. It's a team effort. Myself and Jane
谷のこっち側
can
と
also
向こ
post
う
on
側
that
では
account. So
交流があるんでしょ
depending,
うか、
what you see, it's most
あるん
likely
やろ
Inquest
な、人
who
間って
is
すげえ
posting
か
on
ら
that account, but it might also be me or Jane. And sometimes, every now and then, we collaborate and do a team effort on a post. You saw last week we did a kind of a fun reference homage meme from the Barbie movie. That was a team effort. You know, pilot is not my real job.
You're
And it's
playing,
not
right?
it's not flight engineer either, which is a common misconception. It's actually my job. It's just beach.
このコードだと飛ぶだけでいっぱいいっぱいな気がする。
Should be
ス
playing.
パチャじゃないのか。
Ink says the team effort
なん
posts
と
are
な
always
く
the
な
most
さそう
fun.
だよね。
Anyone in chat seen the Barbie movie yet? You know, it's made over $1 billion at this point, so it's pretty high likelihood that someone here has seen that.
I
I
went to
fully
Barbie.
embraced the Barbenheimer.
Oh, you did.
First Barbie and then the day after Oppenheimer.
Nice. Last weekends, with one of my colleagues on the Flight Simulator team who lives kind of nearby me, the two of us, we went together to see Oppenheimer on 70mm IMAX screen.
Ah, you were lucky.
One of only 30 in North America. 30 screens in all of North
What?
America showing it in that format.
It's worldwide, but the most, like 25, are in North America. Closest for me was Prague.
I will say,
やばい、じゃあ
okay, here's my maybe controversial hot take opinion. I thought the movie itself, Oppenheimer, was fantastic. I was enthralled. It was 3 hours, and it didn't felt like that at all. It felt like it flew by. I was enthralled by the entire thing.
降りていくの？
Here's my hot take.
降りてきたら登
I
ってこ
don't
れるの？
necessarily
登る
think
の
the
にまた一苦
70mm
労
IMAX format was necessary to enjoy that movie.
I agree with you.
90%, if not more than 90%, of the runtime of that film were scenes of people sitting in offices talking.
すげ
And I
え
don't
エ
really
チオ
think
ピ
you
ア。
need 70mm IMAX to
この
appreciate that.
山。
You only need IMAX for the
この
super
谷。
sound.
またイーグルでもう一遍来たいね。
But don't you get the same? Don't you get the same audio in a regular?
Voice.
IMAX or just
Dolby
They have a
Atmos.
more extensive setup.
お、なんかいっぱい
Any
この下に群がっちょる。あ、ここもなんか動物がお
It's
る
only
のか？
IMAX digital. But I agree with you, Stevie. It's not
ちょっ
needed.
と俺の
But yeah, overall, big thumbs up for Oppenheimer. I really enjoyed that movie, and I'm hit or miss on Christopher Nolan. I know some people think he's this great auteur and they love everything he does.
キリン
I
ヒャッホー
think there's some of his stuff I really like. Some of it I think is overly pretentious, and I don't enjoy quite so much. But Oppenheimer, you know, I'd have to see it again, maybe to have a second opinion. But I will go on a limb and say that Oppenheimer is my favorite of Christopher Nolan's films that I've seen so far.
あ、やべえ、なんかやべえぞ。
It's a big difference with Tenet, which I would list as
い
his.
かんえれえ難しいな。
So I saw Dunkirk on an IMAX screen, and this is where I get into Christopher
Killing-
Nolan being a little bit too
killing
pretentious for his own
me
good sometimes. There's some pros and cons here.
おお、すげえとこじゃ。
Dunkirk, did it really need to play around with time to tell that
Dunkirk.
story? Did it really need 3 different time frame references?
It was confusing.
It was confusing. You know, even when I figured out what was going on, I didn't think it was necessary
ダ
to
ウン
make the
と
film better.
キリン。
And the other thing that Christopher Nolan does, he's such a purist that he doesn't do CG. Everything has to be practical effects as much as is physically possible.
お、キリン
And
がおる。
so
お、す
for
げえ。
the dogfighting scenes, which by the way looked incredible on an IMAX screen with the Spitfires and so on, he tracked
ダン
down
キル
some of
ク
the
の映画の
only
話してん
remaining
の。お、キリ
flight-worthy
ンがおろろろろろろろ
Spitfires
ろろろ。
and filmed them.
おーすげえ、キ
physically
リ
film
ンま
them,
で
and
す
it
ごい
looked
よくで
awesome,
きて
it
る。
looked
おーす
amazing,
げえ。
but it
キリン
really
キリ
hurt
太郎
the sense
も、お
of
ーす
scale.
げえす
Like,
げ
would
え。
the RAF only send
歩いとる歩い
3
とる。おー。
Spitfires? Like, that's not even a squadron,
動
right? If
物園でし
you're
か
going to
見た
defend
こ
the
とが
coast
ない
of
よ。
Dunkirk from air attack, you're not
大
going to
き
send
りも
3
よくで
Spitfires.
きて
You're
んな。
going
今
to
日
send at
ジュラ
least
シ
a
ックパ
squadron,
ークみ
if
たい
not
に
multiple
恐竜とかもい
squadrons.
たらすげえな
And。so you had like 3 Spitfires fighting 2 Messerschmitts. And it's like, yeah, okay.
ジュラシッ
It
ク
looks
パーク
great,
の
but
映
it's
画
not really
と
realistic.
コラボレーション
It's
して
very focused on just a few individuals. I was most annoyed by the changes in weather constantly between the shots. Like one shot overcast, the other shot blue sky.
I mean, weather
もう
can
死なない
change.
モードだと木
Yeah,
に
but
ぶつからなくなる
It
のがい
goes
い
like
ね。
overcast interior and then blue sky exterior shot. I'm like,
おーす
You
げ
guys
え。
are sounding like Mike Simmers.
yep.
キ
Pretty
リン
much.
じゃよ、キリン。
Where am
ほ
I
ら
right。now?
Yeah, it's so true. But like once you know, you know, and you can't unsee that
お
stuff. You know what I mean? Anytime you watch any aviation
ー。
movie,
なんかちょっと
like
体の
when I
模様
watch
がこんなだ
regular
ったっ
like
け。
shows on Netflix, whatever, and they
お
show
ー、キリンもよくで
like
き
a
てん
air
な
crash. I watched one
ー。
movie. It was a show. I don't know what it's called. There was some show about a plane, and I guess because of copyright reasons, they couldn't show
すげえ
a
じゃん。
Boeing or an Airbus, and so they mixed them.
いや、感動した。
It was like a Airbus A320-700 or something.
こ
Like,
んな
not
す
something that
げえ
didn't
よくでき
exist.
てるとは
With an A350 cockpit.
素晴らしい。
So
気を引かないように。
The
ワシン
viewers
トン
realize
条
how
約
do you
と
get
か。
those graphics? I see a lot of
Washington
greenery
条約
where they
に
see
作るのか
brown
知
and
らん
it looks
け
way
ど。
better. Make sure you have
まあなん
streaming
しか。
terrain turned on. I can't remember what the
野
exact
生
setting
動
is
物を
called.
引くのはあ
But
ん
go
まり
into
よ
your
ろしいこ
options
とで
menu
はな
and
い。
under the data tab,
Big maps.
Bing Map streaming.
Data or something.
Yeah, so it's under the data tab in the options menu, and then make sure you
お
have
ー、
like
キ
the
リ
terrain
ン
streaming.
か。いいものが見れたぜ。
I'm taking off from where you guys were landing because I had a CTD.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
F's in the chat. There's some amazing
いいもん見
canyons.
た。
They were, yeah,
すげえわ。
yeah, beautiful views here in
また
Ethiopia.
マイクロソフトフライトシミュレーターの凄さの一端を見ちゃったぜ。
Boober says Devotion was the first black American fighter pilot. Not quite, not quite. There was the so Devotion was set place in the Korean War from 1950 to 1953, and it was an integrated squadron, which was what was historically significant about that. So it was white and black pilots flying together. In the Second World War, very famously, there was the Tuskegee Airmen who flew P-51 Mustangs, and they were
だから
all
マ
black
ニフォールドプ
fighter
レッシャーな
squadron.
のかな。
And there's another movie about them called
ど
Red
こで
Tails,
出てんだろう。あ、もうそろそろ
and that's worth
サ
your
イド
time
の
to
タン
check
ク
out.
がやばくなってきたね。エンジンセレクターどうだこれで。
That was in the era that was pre-integration, and it was at the time it was a senator, but later would become
なんか
vice
やべえ。
president and
これ
eventually
やっぱり
president.
ここはダメ
Harry
なんだ。
Truman.
ここか。
He lobbied very hard to give these
燃料
African
セレ
American
クターいじ
pilots
る
the
とろくな
opportunity
こと
to
にな
serve
ら
their
んね。この
country in World
い
War
つも
II and train as fighter pilots, and then serve overseas.
オペラ回
And then
転
when
数
he
が
became
落ちちゃう。
president later, it was because of the positive experience
ああ、また
that,
落ちた。墜落。
that was demonstrated by the Tuskegee Airmen in the Second World War as commander in chief. That then encouraged him to fully integrate the American military.
I need to go back and watch some of those movies. I feel like I haven't really watched a lot of aviation movies in a while since I've gotten into flight sim. Like that urge for like aviation stuff kind of like goes all towards flying now. You know, in the flight sim rather than watching movies about flying. And so now that I'm flying in flight sim, I know so much more about aviation. Kind of want to go back and watch some of those, you know, old classics.
こりゃ。
Just appreciate them a bit more now that I know.
You know, well, there's two ways that can go, Blue. One, you could appreciate it a lot more, or the more you know about a subject, when you watch a movie or TV show that's about that subject, you get annoyed
雰囲
because
気
it's
回ってないと
unrealistic.
ビビる。
So
あれでもなんか全然わ
there's
からん
an
ね
old saying, you know, whatever your profession is, whatever you do for a living, don't watch any movie that's about
2400回
that
転。
profession, because you will just get really annoyed at how unrealistic everything is.
ちょっとファイルを上げてみ
Not
る。
always.
Yeah. Not always. Some do it
良
right,
さそうなん
but
だ
a
け
lot
ど
of them get it wrong.
どうも空に吹きできん。
It was fun to see the Concorde in New York is moving again. To undergo some
戦略
repainting.
中回転数がなんかギューッと下がっていく。
I don't know if you saw the picture.
混合機の設定が微妙だな。
Just refer to any hacking IT scene in almost any movie.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
ギリ
This,
飛べてる
this is my impression of a movie hacking scene. Click, 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 type, type, type. Then there's a progress bar. And then there's another bar that shows how close you are to getting caught. And then when the progress bar fills up, then you go, I'm in.
Then they go enhance.
Yeah. Well, and here's
Oh,
yeah.
NCIS. That's
高
a
度
good
計の
one.
見方
So,
間違
yeah.
ってたか3万フィート
So Inquest is the same thing as Simtom. Computer
3
enhance.
万フィートかもしれない。なん
But
か
the thing is,
高度計の見
with
方間違
AI
ってん
now,
の。
I was just gonna say
that actually
Okay,
actually
but-
works
yeah,
for
might
real.
be, yeah. It's the
But
scary
yeah,
part.
yeah, I fully agree. Because as you know, CD, I'm also an. Sometimes they do it right? Because as you know, I'm also a professional lifeguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw the film Baywatch.
Film Baywatch. Yeah.
Yeah, from 2017 with The Rock.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just fully accurate. I mean, everything that happened there is just one-on-one true, which happens in real life. So yeah, I can vouch for that. Yeah. Sometimes they do it right.
So it says, don't forget the green text scrolling down your face. Oh yeah, yeah. You gotta have
Yeah.
the green
最
text on
近
the
ちょっと
screen.
長距離を飛んでる
I may
な
need to climb here. Look at this, folks. I don't think I'm going to, at my present altitude, be able to clear this ridge up ahead.
What is your present altitude?
11,500.
Oh, that's not comforting at all.
I'm gonna climb to 13,500.
Do you have oxygen in a cup?
We'll just pretend I've got a mask on. Well, actually, technically, oh no, I
You
can't.
find
14,000.
I was gonna say you're allowed to fly for, at least in Canada, you're legally allowed to fly for up to 30 minutes above 10,000 feet without oxygen, but you're not allowed to fly above 12,000 feet at all without oxygen. So I
う
cannot
ん
do
や
any
だ
of
ー
this, even for a short duration. I
な
don't
ん
know what
か
the
嫌
rules
な
are in
こ
other
とを思い
countries.
出
That's
す
where I trained to fly in Canada, that was the rule. Is above 10,000, you cannot fly above 10,000 above sea level for more than 30 minutes without oxygen, and you cannot fly above 12,000 at all without oxygen.
I think I've never been in my life above 5,000.
So a good friend of mine who's been on the stream before, you may remember Pick St. Louis, the two of us rented a Piper Tomahawk one day, and we climbed to 10,000 feet just to say we did it. And
Right.
just as soon as we saw the altimeter roll over to 5 digits, we immediately started.
That's cool. Okay, go.
So yeah, we did it once just to say we've done it.
Yeah,
check
yeah,
that
yeah,
box,
exactly.
and never done that again.
I'm usually around 1,500, 2,000, something like that. Maybe 3.
テスラも結構華麗な飛行ができるもんですね。
All right, so here's a question for our panel. You asked me what's my favorite plane.
素晴らしい。
And I said if I was a multimillionaire and price was no object, what would I buy? I said a Cirrus Vision Jet. All right, let's ask the same question to our 4 panelists. Peter, price is no issue. You could buy any plane you want to fly yourself. Like obviously, not like I'm gonna buy a Falcon 5 and have a corporate private pilot fly me around. That's not an option. But you could buy anything you want. What would you buy?
Yeah. Does it have to be a plane?
No.
I'm like,
In that
What
case,
are you
it-
gonna say? Like Spaceship One?
no. In that case, it would be a helicopter.
Okay, yeah, that's a
An
valid
H1,
answer.
H125, I guess. Yeah.
Ah, okay. You're a traitor to your fixed wing brethren there, Peter, but we'll allow it. All right, Simtom, what about you?
Same as you, CD. Vision Jet.
Vision
It's
Jet.
just so fun to fly
Yeah.
around and so easy to operate.
Okay. Lou, what about you?
man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm thinking about the helicopter
Oh.
idea. I've always wanted to fly a helicopter like to and from work, skip all the traffic.
right?
まあ本当壮大ですな。
Easily, my answer is gonna be the Kid Fox.
Yeah, but that's actually doable right now.
That's
I mean, I
actually
know
within the
it's-
realm of
最近長いな
affordability. Like,
公
Yeah,
式集
but
会
you
の
know, it's
航路。
still it's like my dream
Yeah.
plan. I always told myself if I had the money, I mean, affordable, yes, but it's not affordable for most people.
昔は2時間でおおむね着いたんですけど
No, but that's-
全然
like,
2時
I'm-
間で
I can say this definitively.
到着
I will
し
never
ね
be
え
able
な
to afford a Cirrus Vision jet.
すげえな
It is
Kid Fox.
conceivable that at some point in the future, if I dedicated a lot of savings to it, it is conceivable that I might be able to buy a Kid Fox at some point in the future. That's the
If
difference.
money
Yeah.
was an issue, I'd buy a Kid Fox. If money was no issue, I would buy a more expensive car.
I think
巨
I
大
would
な
still buy,
谷
even if money was not an issue, I would still be a Kid Fox. I like that
It's
plan that
crazy
much.
fun. Yeah.
And
巨大な
if
山。
money's not an issue, I could just soup it up, right? Like it's crazy upgradable. So
True. Yeah, you can
and
get
you can literally land it anywhere like a helicopter.
True. Okay, fair. Yeah.
All right, Hermanos. What about you? What would you buy if price was no object?
I was thinking along the lines of what my favorite plane in the sim is, and that's kind of a different question. So I think maybe like a TBM or a PC-12 or something like that.
Which is kind of what you're flying today.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
God.
lot slower.
I think for
やっぱ太鼓の血が騒ぐのかな
those
こ
are
の辺
one
も
of
素
the
晴らしいですね
more sane choices to have, right? If you own a TBM, you can practically go anywhere.
Right.
You can land practically anywhere as well.
think
Hex
the-
says I'd buy an Icon A5. So interesting comment here, Hex. One of the leads on the Microsoft Flight Sim project before it came out, when the team was sort of negotiating with various different aircraft manufacturers on what planes we wanted to include in the sim. One of the leads in the project, who is a pilot as well, did a flight in an Icon A5 in the Seattle area, landed on Lake Union in Seattle. And after the fact, we were talking about a year. Actually, we were at Oshkosh last year. We were talking, and he said, if money was no object, he would buy an Icon A5 after having flown one in real life and landed on Lake Union in Seattle in it. He said, no question. He said that's the most fun he's ever had in any plane he's ever flown. Okay. MP Stack says no one wants an F-18 Super Hornet. Well,
いやーあ
I
の
turned
谷
my
に沿って
7 million
飛び
Pepsi
てえ
points
け
and
ど
get a Harrier jump jet.
この飛行機で
Harry
もう
is
一回
much more
再び上がってこれる気がしね
useful
え
next to the big drive, but the F-18 Super Hornet, it's fun and all, but you need a lot of runway. You can only
Yeah.
fly to and from your own airport. You can hardly go abroad, right?
Did anyone watch that documentary on Netflix about the kid who wanted his Harrier jump jet for his Pepsi points?
I know the story, but I didn't see
Yeah.
the documentary.
Yeah, well, it's a true story from the 90s, and then I think it was last year Netflix made a documentary, like a
1万
5-part
3000フィ
documentary
ート
about that true story.
As they do.
Yeah. What's the story, CD? Okay, so if you're not familiar, in the 90s, Pepsi Cola ran a promotion where if you bought Pepsi products under the cap of your Pepsi bottle, there would be a little thing that gave you points, and you collected points, and you could trade them in for like Pepsi products, like merchandise, like hats and T-shirts and things like that.
なんか結構ショートカットしてんな
And in the
も
commercial
う諦めたか最後の
that
この
Pepsi ran to advertise this
ポ
promotion,
イントは時間
they
が
were
かか
showing
りす
they
ぎ
had like a
て
high school kid, and it was showing all the things that he won with his
Shortcut
Pepsi
チーム
points,
と
so like a hat and
ち
a
ゃんと
T-shirt and a jacket
上
and
ポイン
whatever
トを
else.
守ろうとし
And
て
then at the
ちぎる
very
チーム
end, and it said, like hat,
あの
30
USR4
Pepsi
が
points,
何にかによ
jacket,
るな
300 Pepsi points,
あれが動物だっ
T-shirt,
たら1
60 Pepsi points, whatever the values were. And
タ
then
ッ
it
チング
said,
なら別
it
に
showed
用
him
はない
flying a Harrier jump jet and landing it vertically in his schoolyard to go to high school. Then it said Harrier jet, 7 million Pepsi points. And then it turns out this kid figured out, he watched this ad, he saw it on TV. There was no fine print in the ad that said not a real offer, whatever.
ショートが
There was
特
nothing.
にと
And so this
規
kid
定
figured
の
out
コースを
he
行く
could
に
get
分かれましたね
7 million Pepsi points for far, far cheaper than the actual sale price of a Harrier jet. And so he got a lawyer involved, and
最後の上
he
ポイ
got a
ントが
business
何かを
partner,
見
and
極
he
め
got
る
like
まではちょっと
sponsors
聞いてみます
to
わ。
help him like
も
raise
し
the
動
money
物だ
to
ったら動
buy
物が見
the
たい。
7 million Pepsi points that he needed. Then he went through the proper redemption process and went to Pepsi Cola and said, I'm redeeming my 7 million Pepsi points. Where's my Harrier jet? And it became a court case. And at one point, Pepsi offered to settle with him for a pretty sizable sum of money just to make the problem go away. And the kid was like, no, I want my jet. You said you'd give me a Harrier jump jet for my 7 million Pepsi points? I want my Harrier jump jet.
Are we allowed to show the commercials here?
I don't know if we can show it, but you can look it up online. It's on YouTube. And then afterwards, Pepsi redid a new version of the ad where they put in fine print on the bottom, you know, just kidding, with the 7 million points the Harrier
Just
jump jet.
kidding.
Yeah. And then, anyways, there's a documentary on Netflix. It's like a 5-part documentary. That's the true story of this kid trying to win himself a Harrier jet through Pepsi points.
Wow.
But yeah, it's 100%. It's a true story. It was in the news. Like, I actually remember that when it happened. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm 7 miles out from the airport. I'm gonna turn my autopilot off and start my descent. Blue, you look pretty close. Tom, you're already on the ground, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm on the way. I had a ride in a Toyota somewhere through the African Ethiopian desert after my landing.
Yeah, the Toyota Land Cruiser. You see them everywhere when you're on safari. It's the #1 safari vehicle at least in the Serengeti where I was.
あのこけしに
And
向
I'm
かってん
guessing
だ
most
な。
other parts of Africa where tourists would go on safari. All right, what about Hermanos? You on the ground yet?
Yeah, I landed. Yeah.
Oh, I missed your landing. Nice.
No,
Apologies for that.
I think it was up. I think I saw it.
Oh, wasn't there? Okay, good.
I was talking about something else, so you had me up.
I think I see the airport. Pretty far. but I
11,
think I see it.
11 miles out.
I'm 6 miles out now.
この飛行機だとアップアップジャイ。ここら辺の人たちは何をして暮らしているの
Yeah, it's
か。
been a really nice flight though. I love doing flights like this through Africa.
Yeah,
It's a really nice change of scenery.
Yeah, I really enjoyed today's flight. Chad, I hope you had a good time today. Let us know in the chat if you enjoyed today's fly-in. For
I'll tell you
World
as well.
Elephant Day tomorrow, we went spotting some elephants, and we also saw, as a bonus, not related to World Elephant Day, but we also saw some giraffes on the stream today.
We're making up for the giraffe day we missed.
も
Yeah,
うそろ
back
そろ
in
配
June.
信は終わりか
People seem to like this flight. Oh, Rage Lurk says sorry, unfollow. Oh, you break my heart, Rage Lurk.
No, I was gonna say, CD, you picked a really good like actual route. I feel like one of the hardest parts for people about flying through Africa is finding where to fly in Africa, so you can get like the views that you want. And I feel like this was perfect. We had like the elephants, you had the mountains, a little canyon. It was really nice.
Well, you know, it's pure coincidence. I was just looking for where elephants can be seen in Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it happened to be that there were 2 different elephant herds that were both relatively close together in Ethiopia. And I thought, okay, that sounds great. We'll do that. And yeah, so just by coincidence, it worked out.
Alright, here's the airport.
Yeah, there is some great scenery as well.
Oh,
Here
こ
in
の
Ethiopia
像だ。
today. Now, by the way, we didn't really talk about food. We could have gone on a whole rabbit hole talking about
African
Ethiopian
food is
cuisine.
so nice.
I love Ethiopian food.
Oh,
I've never had it.
Oh, it's so good. You get the injera, the sort of sour, spongy bread that you. Oh, man! I'm gonna find a nearby Ethiopian restaurant. I'm having Ethiopian food for dinner tonight.
now.
Yeah, we could have talked about this for a long time. So a lot of Ethiopian food, it's a lot of it is vegetarian focused, but it doesn't have to be. There's also meat dishes as well. One of my favorite ones is I think it's called yabig tibs, and it's sort of like a meat stew. and then you have the injera, the spongy sour bread that you sort of, and it's hand food. So you take like a bunch of this bread, and then you use the bread to pick up the tibs, the stew, and then you eat it with your hands. And just so good, so good.
With some nice fruity beers, it's
I'm turning final really high here. I might have to do a forward slip. In fact, I'm going to do that now. Very aggressive forward slip here to burn off altitude as I turn on to final.
Yeah.
人との区別がつかね
Like wrapping around a mountain trying to get on final.
So for anyone in chat who's not familiar with Ethiopian cuisine, here's my challenge to
Aita.
you. Go see if there's an Ethiopian restaurant near where you live and get some Ethiopian food for dinner tonight. So good.
立派な生き物じゃのそうってい
And
う
then
の
yeah,
は
make sure I'm sure by default, no matter what you order, you will get it. But just make sure you get the injera, the spongy bread.
お花
I'll
が
look
長い
into that. I
の
don't think
ね
I've ever had Ethiopian.
母さんも長いんだよなおー歩いとる草を食べてるからここら辺の草も全部食べ物なんかな
I'm on long final behind you.
I'm on very short final now, and my forward slip was a success. I was able to burn off a lot of that excess altitude
アフリカゾ
as I turned on to final.
うひょー
The glider pilot
意
in
外
me
と高
pulling
度
out
の
the
高いところ
classic
にいるんですな
glider technique of doing a forward slip on final.
I read an
なんか
article
もっ
once
と
that
低いところにいるイメージだったんですが意外と高いところで暮らしていらっしゃる
correctly planning their flight. Then you, if you needed it, then you did it wrong.
That's correct, but in a glider, it's kind of you don't really always have control over that. You can't do
No,
a
I
go
know.
around in a glider, and sometimes there's sometimes you have thermals and sometimes you have downdrafts, and you can't really correct for either one.
Coming down.
どこに向
I'm
かって
touchdown.
歩
I'm
い
gonna
てい
switch
るん
over
で
to
しょうか
Blue's point of view.
元気で暮らしてください元気で暮らせよ
Next week is the 3-year anniversary. That's right. August 20th.
Microsoft?
Yep.
August 20th, 2020 was the launch date of Microsoft Flight Simulator for PC at least. July 18th, 2021 on Xbox.
Wow.
Short final.
Made it.
Okay, and switching over to Peter now. Chilidas says, Alexis is my nearest Ethiopian restaurant is 47 kilometers away, and that's as the crow flies. Well, Chilidev, that may be, maybe worth a trip one day. Just if you never had Ethiopian
Absolutely.
food before, just to try it.
Mine is also over 40 kilometers away.
満足じゃ
Let's see if DoorDash has Ethiopian.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this time. I'm gonna see if there's an Ethiopian restaurant near me, and if there is, I will. Order, I'm not even kidding. I will order today, and I will post some photos in the forum thread.
また一つ学びを得ました
He's not in DoorDash range.
If it's your first time, Blue, you should go too. It's an experience, you know.
Yeah, I think I should actually go to the restaurant.
Yeah. Sit on the floor and scoop some stuff up, man.
バーチャルな体験を
I
バーチ
sat
ャル
on
な
the floor
体
in the
験ですが
restaurant.
象を見るというのは
Depends on the restaurant.
ま
I mean, that's
あ
kind
動
of the
物園ぐらい
traditional
しか見れない
Ethiopian
ん
way.
ですからね
But in a lot of Ethiopian restaurants in Western cities, they will have like tables and stuff. But it's very
これがもう
like
50
Ethiopian
年
cuisine.
し
It's
たら
very
まあそ
communal
こまでは
dining.
私は生き
It's
られ
all
ない
about
でしょ
sharing
うが
food with people you
どこ
care
まで
about.
リアルにな
So
るん
it's
でし
sort
ょ
of
う
like a big
ね
table, and everything is sort of communal style
も
when they
う
serve it.
死ぬまでにどのぐらい
Oh,
リア
here
ル
we
に
go.
なるのかちょっと楽し
Masawa
みです
Restaurant is near me. Here. I'm gonna put this up on the screen here.
No, please don't.
No.
This is
You're gonna have everyone in chat eating Ethiopian tonight.
Please
so this is what I was talking about with the Ethiopian cuisine. So you can see these are the various different dishes. This is like a tibs. This is like a meat stew, and then these are like pureed vegetables of some kind, and then you've got like some tomato and
今日はちゃんと
vegetables
ミ
here.
ッ
And
ク
then
スチャーを
underneath it, you can see
ミ
this
ック
is
ス
the
チャーでいつ
injera,
も飛んで
which
た
is
の
that
か
kind
な
of sour,
この
spongy
飛行機ミ
bread
ックス
that's
チャーを
served
い
on
じら
top.
んと
And
高
usually
高
gives
度
some
で
extra
は
on the side. And so
性
again,
能
the
が出
proper
な
way
い
to
と
eat
いう
this
学
in
新しい
Ethiopian
学びを得ま
culture
した
is you
だいぶ
take
この
some of
飛行
the
機も乗っ
spongy
て
bread
たん
and
です
you
けど
kind of
ね
use that to pick up the meat
ああ、まあ
or the
高い
other
ところは
dishes, and then you just eat it with your hands.
飛んでなか
No,
っ
my
た気がし
everything
ま
is
すな、そ
almost
う言われ
gone.
て
You
み
have
る
that
と。
spongy bread, which is on the bottom,
And-
which has all the
Soaked
Flavor.
up
飛
all
行機と
the
いうのは
sauces. Yeah.
高いところを飛ぶと
It's so
I,
good.
Go
I,
see
I
it.
did
Good.
find I did find some restaurants. For whatever reason, they're all on the southwest
いろいろ
side,
調整しないといけないと
and
こ
they're
ろがあ
all
るんです
42
が、
minutes away from me.
So that's
I don't
probably
know.
there's,
Just-
I'm guessing, a pretty sizable Ethiopian
空
immigrant
気と
community
ガソリンの
that
混
lives
There
合
is
費を
actually, I am aware here, there's
決めている
pretty,
装
not
置
just
があるん
Ethiopian,
です
but
けど、
all
それをちょっと調整してやらないと、
they come here for oil.
空気に対して燃料が多すぎると、
All right, folks, this
それは
brings us
そ
to
れ
the
でま
end.
た
That
爆発
is
しなく
Community
なっちゃうん
Fly-In
ですよね。
Friday World
利息燃
Elephant
費があっ
Day
て、利
edition.
息燃費っていう
Once again,
空
want
気
to
と
stress the point. We're not a
燃料
political
の質
stream.
量
We're
費
not
があって
partisan. We don't
まあまあ
promote
そんだけ
any
だと
specific
ちょうど
ideologies on this
あの
channel, but something I
空気
think
と
everyone can agree
燃
with.
料が
We're all
うまい
against
こと爆
elephant
発し
poaching
て
and don't buy
いるよ
ivory
うな
products.
あ
Don't
の
support that
分
industry.
子量なんでしょうけど、
Leave these beautiful animals alone. Don't provide an incentive for
それを
people
ちょ
to
っと合
hunt
わ
them
せてや
illegally.
らんとあかん
And
のです
let's
よ。
let's conserve elephant population. And we'll be back same time, same place next week.
上空に行
Let
っ
me
て
check,
空気が
I
薄く
actually
なる
can't
とその
remember
分
what we have on the
ガソリン
agenda
が
for
出る
next
量
week.
も
What are we doing
減ら
on-
して
Oh,
やらんと
okay, yes. Oh, this is gonna be a good
あ
one.
かんということで
Next week is Indonesia Independence Day.
Ooh.
So
I
we're gonna
wonder
do a
where-
flight in
where we will-
Indonesia next week.
そこら辺の
Haven't
調整
figured
を
out
するのが
exactly where we're
ミッ
gonna
クスチャ
fly
ー
yet. Might be to
っていう
Bali, might be
の
to
です。
Java, might
大
be to
体
Jakarta,
あの
might be a combination of some of those, might be to Borneo. We may
プロ
even
ペラの
do,
飛行
if
機
you
は
remember,
3
there's
つ
that
コン
famous
トロール
British
する
Airways
の
flight
があって、
that
まあ
flew
ス
through
ロ
a
ットル、
volcano, the ash cloud from a volcano over
それ
Indonesia.
から
They lost all 4 engines on a 747, and the
Wow.
captain
プ
came
ロ
over
ペラ
to
ピー
TA,
チ
and
からミックスチャ
said,
ー
ladies
大
and gentlemen,
体
this is your captain speaking.
新し
We
い
have
プロ
lost,
ペ
and
ラ
I'm
の
quoting
飛
him
行機
verbatim here, by the way.
コ
This
ン
is
トローラ
exact
ーがあ
quote.
るんですけ
Ladies
ど
and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We have lost all
まあ
4
ミックス
engines.
チャーあん
We
ま
are
り普
doing
段
our
は意識し
damnedest
て
to
なか
get
っ
them
た
going again.
装置ですが
I trust you are not in
今回
too
は
much
それをちゃんと
distress.
調整してやらんとうまく
That
飛
was
びま
the
せんでした
exact quote from the British Airways captain when they lost all
Wow.
4 engines flying through a volcanic ash cloud over Indonesia. And they did successfully make an emergency landing, I think, in Jakarta. So happy ending to that story.
Without restarting, right?
They got partial power back, I think,
Okay.
to 2 of the engines.
Oh, because there was also the glider flight, which was also lost all 4 engines, but they never.
Yeah.
But this one, I believe they got 1 or 2 engines back. Yeah.
うんみんなもうゴーしてますな
All right. So, anyways, that's next week. Is going to be Indonesia Independence Day. So, flight for Indonesia. Stay tuned. All the usual places where you follow the forums, Twitter, Facebook. Probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, we will share all the details for our Indonesia flight next week. And we got a couple great guests as well. Just checking here. We have got Simflight Pro, who's been on the channel a few times before, will be rejoining us again next week. And a first comer, new addition guest co-host to the channel. We have ADU going to be joining us for the first time. So great panel joining us next week. So signing off here, once again, we'll go around to our current panel and give us the final words. Peter, starting with you.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'll be here next week, but anyway, this was great fun. Nice to fly in Africa once again. The scenery is always epic, and hope to see you guys soon.
Okay, and Simton?
I agree with Peter. Nice scenery. Nice to see the elephants and the giraffes. Nice company also to stream it. And
Absolutely.
Great weekend, everyone.
Okay, and Blue, over to you.
Nah, man, that's good. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Enjoyed the route. Great actual route. Love the scenery. Love the company. And thanks to everyone who came out and flew with us.
Okay, and once again, I put another link to Blue's YouTube channel in the chat. Go ahead, do all the YouTube things, like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, the notification bell, do all of that. One of our favorites YouTube content creators here on the Flight Sim team, so check out Blue. And last but not least, Hermanos, final word to you.
Yeah, thanks for the invite. I really enjoyed flying the PC-6 today. I thought the scenery was just incredible, and good chance to dive in to see some animals today.
All right, great. And once again, Hermanos, final chance to plug your charity here. Let our viewers know all the great work you're doing for Venezuela.
Yeah, so if you're interested in becoming a sustaining member, I think CD posted the Patreon link. If not, you can check us out on YouTube. Check out the content.
Okay, very good. See a question from chat. Cornspots asks, when can we ever do a flight in my home country, New Zealand? We've done many flights in New Zealand before, including just a few months ago when the New Zealand World Update launched. But very beautiful country. Always a pleasure whenever we fly to New Zealand. But we've definitely done it multiple times in the past. So we're going to sign off here. Hope everyone had a great flight for World Elephant Day in Ethiopia. And we will see you same time, same place next week. Bye, everyone.
ありがとうございました。バイバイ。また来週もお願いします。木が邪魔ですな。脇にぶつかった。ああ、しまった。どうした。やべえ、死んだ。今日は3回失速ですぜ。墜落。まあでもすぐ復活。ああ。お疲れ様でした。今日はひでかったな。ちっちゃい供養機。ヘリコプターもいる。お疲れ様でした。ということで、今日はだいぶいいところもなかったですが、やっぱ野生動物が見れたというのは初めての体験でしたので、まあそれは良かったですね。ということでお疲れ様でした。